Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer. Well, it looks like Minister Jap has joined the D police. I don't know what prompted this conversation. Maybe it was mediocre tutorial reviews. Maybe he just felt the random need to thump on Passport Bros or, TRICKN culture or what have you. Um, or maybe he like Rico. Maybe he's like this local big head brother who felt his pockets getting a little light ever since the Passport Bros came to town. In fact, that's what I strongly suspect that it is. I think that this dude is like Rico. For those of you who don't know, hit the like button first of all. For those of you who don't know, Rico is a character on the movie Belly. So Belly showed a group of New York dudes. They moved into Omaha and started, setting up a D business there. And the locals got restless. They got restless. They was like, okay, these dudes is making money. That money is cutting into my money. And this local big head dude was like, I don't like that shit. I don't like that. And then there was conflict. I get the feeling that that's what Minister Jap is going off of. And to be honest, I'm going to look into his stats to kind of pocket watch him a bit, just a little bit. I'm going to pocket watch him just a little bit because I think that that might be the case. And the reason why I got to pocket watch him is because I haven't seen his show in a long time. In fact, he's live right now. Okay, he's live right now, and I don't see there not a super chat. Oh wait, here's a $10 one. There's a $10 one. There's a $5 one, and there's another five. So in the last hour or so, he made about 20 bucks minus the fee, the 30% fee. So he made 14 bucks in the last hour. Now California, that's less than minimum wage, and he doesn't work 8 hours a day. And I don't think that he does a show 8 hours a day. But I'm gonna check on that. I'm gonna check on that. So let's see what we got here. Hit that like button. All right. So first we're gonna go to his videos. Oh, I didn't share the screen. Let me share it now. Oh, by the way, and this isn't me, indicting you all, but if I had to live off of your donations, I would starve. I would, I would starve. And I got a feeling this brother is starving. Okay, so let's see. All right, looking at his videos. All right, so he has two videos from 2 days ago. He's doing two a day. And 3 days ago, he has one video. Let's see. Okay, so he's jumping. So last week, he has less than 10,000 views for all of his views. That's last week. He did this video. Oh, he's shooting at the Manosphere. I guess he's showing the dudes in dresses, using the AIs and stuff, and is now Zestfest, Andrew Tate, and Sneeko did. Okay, so yeah. All right. That was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So not many views. None of his videos like touch 10,000. None of them. Kevin Samuels' real secret to fixing marriage mistakes. Okay. So now he's invoking Kevin Samuels 7 months ago. All right, let's see what his lives do. Somebody correct him. You're right. He doesn't stream every day. He just had a day where he was busy. Um, all right, let's see. So this one had 3.4. Okay, so he's doing like maybe like he's doing better than mine, of course, but still very low. Let's see. one was 9 days ago. I don't remember watching it, but the red bar suggested I did. Okay. Camilo Anthony. Still nothing past 10,000. This is, yeah, so it doesn't look like, yeah, it doesn't. Oh, wait, he has a 10,000 one here 3 months ago. All right, so it doesn't look like he's making much money off of it. I mean, unless he's getting a lot off of consultations and members and stuff, doesn't really seem like he's clocking like that. Now, he wants to, considering the amount of time and because he's been at this for years, the amount of time and energy and production quality, his face is out there. So this could be hard. It could make it hard for him to find like regular work, stuff like that. So yeah, he wants this to work. But part of what he's selling is the concept of game. Now, what is game? Game is a group of guys, almost all of whom are 40 plus, almost all of whom are selling 90s game, 90s seduction tactics in current year, which is well beyond the 90s. That's essentially what game is. They're telling you the tricks and tips that they used in cold approaching in the 90s with the granddaughters of the women that they met back then. Well, maybe not granddaughters, maybe daughters. But y'all get my point. That's what they're doing. That's what they're up to. And of course, it doesn't work. And every time it doesn't work, they use it as an excuse, like, "Oh, well, you need to buy some more stuff. You need to get the $4,000 package." That's where we're at. And once again, Passport Bros is a boon to that. So I'm going to go back a little bit because he's live right now. I'm going to go back a little bit so y'all can hear where I came in on. And we're going to review this. Once again, hit the like button.
I could give a damn. But that doesn't help a young nigga, man. That's an old nigga game. Buying pussy. I will never tell no 18-year-old nigga, man, just pay her for the pussy. You crazy, man? Look at society now, man. Tricks and hoes. Tricks and hoes. I don't want to hear any tricks say the word simp. Oh, that's some simp ass shit. Nigga, you buy pussy, nigga. You're disqualified for even saying the word because you live it. You invest in the word. You invest in the word simp.
Okay, so right here, he revealed that his audience is a bunch of 18-year-olds. He understands that he's not going to convince older men to not do what they want to do. He understands that. He wants to get the younger and more impressionable dudes. To be honest, and this is because I lived through the 90s, there really isn't much to say. And the reason why there isn't much to say is because I don't go around macking 18-year-olds. Nor does he. He doesn't really live in their world. He has nothing to offer them in that regard.
I don't care how much you try to alphafy it. Oh, yeah, I cuss out when I'm paying her. I tell her to get the fuck out, but I give her $200.
I'm going to go back some more.
You can't alphafy that simp shit. All the brothers in the room, Should a woman be paying you for your valuable time?
Go back further.
Look, the men that they actually like. That is not based and rooted in chemistry and attraction. I don't care about the name. I couldn't live with myself if I was paying a prostitute for affection for my erection. That's me. I have something that you don't have. Dignity. And when you pay a bitch for affection, you don't have dignity.
Okay. I can see where he's going with that. Quite frankly, and this is going to really scratch a lot of people's head. Each and every single method that a man uses to seduce a woman can be considered undignified by another group of men. For example, cold approaching could be looked at as begging. Really, one could say that what you're doing is you're using the same tactic that a homeless person uses to get money from a non-homeless person. One could make that argument. One could also say that, dating is more like an interview for the box, where she is interviewing you to see if you qualify for said box. Then there's the indignities that go along with online dating. Then there's the pop the balloon. People call a lot of approaches humiliation rituals because what it comes down to is this simple fact. She has something that you want, and she is yet to determine if you have something that she wants. That's the beginning and end of it. She has something you want, and everything else, whether it's game, whether it's tricking, whether it's whatever, whether it's simping, even. No matter what, it comes down to she has something you want. How are you going to go about getting it? And that scenario alone is an undignified position to be in. Hit the like button. From a negotiation standpoint, it's the worst possible position to be in.
And then what makes it even worse, you brag about it. Imagine if Nate from Set It Off came to you and bragged to you about he fucked Stoney. Do you respect Nate for fucking Stoney?
I actually do. And not for the reason that, not for like any type of passport bro reason or anything else. I respect how he went about doing it. And this has nothing to do with the money aspect or anything like that. For those of you who don't remember, on the movie Set It Off in 1996, Jada Pickett's character found herself in an economic bind. In this bind, her brother got accepted into, I think it was like UCLA or something like that, and she needed money for his tuition, so And this was a long time ago. Actually, it wasn't even that cost in the 90s. I don't know what you're going to do with $2,000 as far as UCLA goes. That's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere in any of the UC schools. UC stands for University of California. It's not going to get you anywhere, even in '96. It's not. I don't know. The scaling was completely off on that. But nevertheless, she went to him and said, "I need an advance on a sales job for, you know." So basically, she's like, "I'll come and work for you, and you give me an advance on that salary." And he's like, "Okay, well, in exchange for the advance, meaning that he's not giving her the $2,000, she still has to work for it. But because I'm giving you an interest-free loan on the money that you're going to pay me back, I want something in place of the interest." And that is a SE triple actual favor. So they negotiated a bit, and then she steps out of the car and she cries. And I'm not high fiving him on the proposition or anything like that. I'm high fiving him on the fact that he didn't fall for the tears. She's like, "I'm in a bind, Nate," and he's like, "Some other time." And later he moves on to say, "You're not going to get anything until I'm finished." That is what I admire about how he handled that situation. He didn't fall for the okie doke. She threatened to leave. She even got out the car. He was willing to let her leave. Most men would have been like, "Okay, okay, okay. I will allow you to work for me, and hopefully one day I'll be able to seduce you now that I have this proximity to you." He's like, "No, no. If I haven't seduced you by now, I'm not going to seduce you ever." So, what's going to happen is this, and it did happen. She didn't like it. He, of course, did, and that was that. And then come to find out that her brother would rather run the streets than to be an educated lane because of women like her. Be, so after that happened, um, she wound up tearing up the check anyway, and he just got his. See, I like that he didn't have sympathy. I like that he did it as a calculated transaction because he understood something that I, when first watching the movie, really didn't understand. And that is, she didn't have sympathy for Nate. Nate's also in a bind. He wants something that she has, and he doesn't have the ability to get it himself. And there isn't a clever set of words that he could say that would seduce her. She found him to be physically repulsive. There wasn't nothing he can do about that. She didn't care about how he felt. She didn't care about his bind. So why should he care about hers? So when she said, "I'm in a bind, Nate," he said, "Some other time." I appreciate that. Oh, by the way, he wasn't doing it to brag. Oh, Chaos Rain is there. He wasn't doing it to brag. He was doing it just out of practicality. It's like, this is what I want, and this is what you want.
This old sweaty bastard is humping on her. She got her head to the side. Can't believe, why am I doing this? She don't like it. She needs the money. That's the craziest part.
How's that crazy?
They did their big one. They really started bragging about this behavior.
Okay.
Shameful acts like this you should keep to your damn self. That's not what the Passport Bros did. Now they ruined it for a lot of black men who actually like.
Though I don't feel that men should brag on box in any way, shape, or form, I think it's a little tactless. But nevertheless, I don't think it's shameful. I don't think it's shameful either.
To travel, see the world. I am not mad at that at all. But the black man carrying himself like a pervert, I have to teach the youth.
I don't know if that's what pervert means.
That's not the way. And one thing about this, no one defends tricking and buying pussy like the black man.
Oh, that is very not true.
That
is extremely not true. No one is on this I don't buy box more than the black man. And I mean no one. And this comes from having, non-black friends and colleagues, all the time. In fact, the first time I was really surprised by it was I worked at a very small startup not long after college. And they had like a Christmas party. And when I say a very small startup, there was like 6 people that worked there. So they was like, we're having a company party, and which is really just a dinner at this Italian restaurant. And he's like, bring a date. I was like, well, I don't really have anybody to bring us a date. He said, bring a hooker. And I thought he was joking. He was just dead serious. He was like, call girl, bring her. I was cracking up. He was this. If I had to guess, he was maybe like in his 50s, because his son worked there, and his son was in his 30s, maybe 40s. So maybe he was in his 60s, but it was an older white guy. He said it. He was dead serious, and he meant it like it's nothing. And that's just how it goes with them. And also, they would tell me stories. Now, keep in mind, this was a long time ago. They would tell me stories about, their adventures in other places in the world, places like Turkey and stuff like that. And they actually, these are in many cases for them business trips. And these guys are married. Like, trust me, it's not a big deal. It's only a big deal amongst black men. Why? Because we police ourselves so the women don't have to. So that's a lie, Jap.
no one defends it like these black men.
No one
I
has
have
to defend
yet
it.
to encounter a white man that's going crazy, challenging me. These are brothers.
That's because you're not attacking white men.
Got every excuse in the world on why they buy pussy.
No one else need to make excuses. They just do it. Now, of course, they would have to make excuses for their wives, some of them. But for the most part, they just do it. Didn't Bill Gates get caught up doing something like that? In the files of that guy. In them files, wasn't he in them files? To where he just simply said, yeah, it was 2 of them. I paid them, and that was that. Like when those what was it, FBI or it was like FBI, Secret Service, or CIA, but it was a government agency, and mostly white dudes, and they got caught up in some country doing something, and nobody was like, they don't have no dignity. Nobody cares when anybody else do it but black men. Nobody. They don't defend themselves. I don't see them defending themselves against who? Nobody's attacking them for that. They may attack them for other things, like you were on duty or or this and this, but they don't attack them like, oh, it's an undignified thing. Like you just like a disgraced Klingon or something like that. Like what is it with brothers in that? It's weird. And Jap is weird.
Here is another bullshit talking point that they like to throw out. The brothers is traveling, they're looking for wives and most submissive. You've been a passport bro for 15 years. Explain the bitch. Where's the bitch?
Okay. I don't know anybody that fits that description. I don't know anybody who's really like on their 15th year and haven't found like a main chick, unless this is a person who doesn't live abroad, but he travels as often as he can, which is all the more reason to, this is why he don't, because he don't actually live there. A lot of guys, because they're working, they're setting up roots and foundations for when they retire. Get it? Got it? Good.
Stop lying. Stop lying to us. You are not looking for a wife. And for the ones that have done it and are doing it.
Oh my God, he has a towel there just for sweat? Maybe it's because I have AC. I don't ever have to do that unless I'm coming from the gym. What in the world was that?
Salute to you. We are not talking about you. Don't allow for the brothers who travel right in a righteous manner. I am not talking about you. You have a responsibility to stop allowing these sex tourist perverts to lump themselves in with you and get you fired up and think that I'm talking about niggas who travel. Because that's not the case. I'm sick of explaining this to you niggas in the chat rooms. I won't be responding. I'm just going to cook passport bros every time I see some perverted bullshit online.
Okay.
The same as I do with the women. You niggas don't get a pass because you're a man. And I'm fair with this. Have I not cooked the passport hoes?
I don't watch you. And this isn't a dig. I don't watch you, so I don't know. Like right now, 243 people are watching you, which really shows, like when you look at people like MTR and like Fatty and stuff like that, and even Bernard Rowley when he was up. Like, I mean, this is nobody's really watching you.
Have I not cooked the passport hoes? We've done countless shows on them hoes in Jamaica, Gambia. We've done that. I'm very fair with this perverted bullshit that you niggas are on. And the bitches alike. When you pay a woman to give you affection that is not based and rooted in chemistry and attraction, you don't value yourself. You value her. That's why she got paid and you didn't.
It's really not a zero-sum game. Like every exchange where you buy something, what does that mean? That you don't value yourself? You value the person who sold you something? So if I was to pay to get my car fixed, it means that I don't value myself. I value the car. Because if I valued myself, then I would try to sweet talk the mechanic into doing it for free. What does that even mean?
You put a price, I'm sorry, she put a price on her pussy. And you will
Yeah, and you could choose to pay it or not. I don't get it.
oblige. What's the price of your dick? You have no discipline. Like my brother Simple to Peace say, rest in peace. You supposed to treat your dick like a holiday. I've always told you these hoes got to earn the sperm.
Well, one could argue that she do earn it through beauty and being eligible. Make no mistake, she is selling it to you. She is selling it to you. Okay, so if you ever worked in a sales environment, whether it's like real estate or automotive or something like that, the salesperson earned that sale. They are selling the product to you. You are the one in control there. If you ever bought a car, you would understand that. If you ever bought a house, you would understand that. The real estate agent works for you. They are selling it to you. You are the commodity.
We speak a different language. You tricks. You're only going to frustrate yourself coming into a space where the players are conversing.
All right, let's see the conversing that the players are doing. Shout out to AMS. AMS did know the difference between Thailand and Taiwan. Oh, did know the difference. No, he didn't. Um, but this isn't about AMS. Passport Bros is just a fancy label. Men been doing it for decades. Military, white. Yeah, this is not like player talk.
You won't get it. You don't get it. And this message is not for you. This is a totally different language. You've thrown in the towel. You threw your dignity away.
How much y'all want to bet that none of these dudes are 18? Like his whole dream. Okay, understand this about fake players and P's. Understand this. If you watch the movies and you read the books, as I have and I have done, whether it's a documentary or, but primarily in fiction, there's always like this OG player pimp Mac. If you look at the movie The Mac, there was this character. He was a blind man that Sonny, who was the main P in the movie, gave like an envelope full of money to just to get talk slick to. He would give him an envelope full of money, and then he would say, yes, this is my pimping wisdom, Sonny. This is my pimping wisdom. Jap wants to be that guy. The guy that gets paid off of someone else's charisma. Holy crap. Because those who can't teach, those who can P, those who can't teach. Now, Sonny really didn't need this guy. They just kind of did it because Sonny knew that one day he was going to be that guy. And he wanted the younger P's to pay him like that. But as we discussed before, for a myriad of reasons, primarily the trafficking laws, that industry is completely dried out, completely. So the OGs, nobody's going to give Jap an envelope. And there's a number of cultural reasons why it's just not, it's just not popping like that. Hit the like button.
A long time ago. The first prostitute you paid, that was when your dignity was gone. That's when you owed yourself anything because you horny. That's when you devalue yourself. And no hoes value tricks. No hoes respect tricks. But you are a man that's
okay, right there. See how he says no hoes respect tricks? Mm-hmm. Why do you value their respect? Why do you value their respect? At least for that temporary moment, they are your servant. They are the ones that you pay for a service. It's kind of like finding out that your plumber don't respect you. Your mechanic don't respect you. Your electrician don't respect you. The person that mows your lawn don't respect you. The garbage man don't respect you. It's like, okay, there's really don't care. Just mow that lawn and dump that garbage. I mean, they can say anything they want. Oh, they don't respect you for not doing your own plumbing. It's like, okay. But you're going to take this money, you're going to clean that toilet, or you're going to unclog that toilet, ain't you? All right, so Joe Blow says, players aren't tricks, two different concepts. A player gets women without having to directly pay for it. Okay. But pay for it by paying for dinner, entertainment, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Tricks pay directly for saying, okay, very astute definition.
Says, hey, I don't even care about being respected. Just give me the pussy. Don't expect the players in this circle to understand that thinking.
Well, I'm trying to understand your thinking. And your thinking is because you value their respect in that way, they're going to withhold it from you. You're basically a slave to whatever they want. They're not going to respect you until you do the things. Pretty much, they're not going to respect you until you do whatever they want. I'm not going to respect you until you become a slave, is essentially what is the position that you put them in. You see, you are thumping on tricks because they value something that they can only get from a woman. But you also value something that you can only get from a woman, and that's their respect.
We are the type of niggas get ourselves cleaned up and get out here and chop it with bitches.
That's not going to work. That's not going to work for you. And this isn't me calling you an ugly dude. This is me saying that it's not going to work for the overwhelming majority of men just based on looks alone. In your particular case, okay, I'll put it like this. Show us how it works. Like, show me the results. Like, we've seen Lucario, Miles Cunningham, make a fool of themselves in Miami. None of you guys, except me, of course, but none of these guys ever actually showed it in action. Not one, not ever. None of these 40 plus year old guys have successfully macked abroad. Not a one. And there's plenty of venues to do it on. I would love to have seen you attempt to do something like that when the Pineapple Show was a thing. Now, those of you who want to know what the Pineapple Show is, well, I think it's still up. It's with Melly Monaco. She used to have this show where a woman would get on and um, like hundreds, maybe even 1,000 guys would come up and shoot their shot. And if she's not interested, say pineapple. How come you wasn't there? If your grooming is so tight, if if your charisma is just so glistening, like how come you wasn't there to show us your work? That would have been a perfect opportunity. Oh, but don't despair. There's still plenty of other venues that you could do that on. Why don't you go on Pop the Balloon and show us exactly how it's done? I would like to see that. I would like to see any of them do that. Kendra G, I would like for any of them to go on any of these public platforms and walk away with anything. Okay, put it like this and show us some impressive results. I would love to see that.
We respect the game. If the rejection comes with the game, we move along. 300 billion hoes in the world, nigga.
Okay, so you just overestimated the female population by about 298 billion, the adult female population. So yeah, all right. Let's continue.
You talk to a lot of these tricks, they don't even believe that women have the ability to be attracted to people.
You're projecting. You're projecting.
That's why you see a lot of these tricks and suckers and sugar daddies getting cheated on from bitches who go fuck the man that they actually like.
And I know you want to pretend like that's you. And if so, show us the work. Like it's really not that hard. When Steve the Dean made an open challenge, I accepted and showed the world that it's not that damn hard. It's not. But it's hard for you. You see, here's the problem. Here's the thing about these guys. I know the genuine article. Not saying that I'm the genuine article. I know guys who are. And one thing that's universal about these guys, about let's just say him, the guys who are him never have to say that they're him. They never have to try to convince others to be him or to want to be him. He is just him. Now, I know very few guys who are him. They never offer advice to people who don't ask for it. Never. They never talk like 90s slick talk. Even the ones that I knew in the 90s. And the reason for that is because it's very fluid. It's not something that's universal. What works for him isn't going to work for me. What works for me isn't going to work for him. What works on one woman isn't going to work on another. What works in one circumstance isn't going to work in another circumstance. What works in Chicago is not going to be what works in Oakland. Anybody who's trying to sell you on something like that is just completely obscene because it changes. It changes from month to month, like week to week and stuff like that. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of exactly what I'm talking about. And this comes directly from him. So I was talking to him when I was in college. And in high school, the him of the time, and by him, I mean the dude that just pulls like in a spectacular rate, even when you adjust for his looks and stuff like that, things that come naturally. These are the guys who pull at an enormous rate. Um, so the him in high school was like, you got to have a 2 day rule because you don't want to come off as too desperate. It was like, all right, I could do that. He's like, yeah, just 2 days. It's like, okay, 2 days, got it. So I got some traction with that because at the time I was on some call immediately stuff. Like, the moment I got home, because we didn't have cell phones back then. The moment I got home, I'm on the phone, like, like this. These were older dudes, by the way. Like I was like it's like a sophomore or a sophomore or a freshman, and these are like seniors and stuff. So I learned that from them, and I was in high school. Went to college that wasn't in Oakland, and then I met another him, and him was like, "No, you can't do that 2 day thing, not anymore." He was like, "This is college." He said, "If she gave you her number, she then gave 6 other guys her number, and basically when she gets home, it's going to be whoever calls first. She's going to forget you in 2 days." Between classes, parties, and all that stuff, she's not going to remember who she met 2 days ago. And you know something? He was right. The situation changed. The situation changed from one area, one circumstance to another. Now, is college like that now? I don't know, which is why I'm not selling game to college dudes. It's like on that movie 21 Jump Street with I think his name Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum being the athletically built, taller, handsome dude. He was the dude when he was in high school, and then they went back to high school as an undercover cop, and he was like, nobody wears, their backpack with one strap. That's lame, and stuff like that. But come to find out that, or no, in two straps. You're supposed to carry it on one strap, but things change because now the high school dynamic is just two straps. Things like to try to sell something, and at the next high school, it might be no straps. They might walk around with handbags. Who knows? To try to sell that type of advice to a general population is absurd. It's completely absurd. It varies from school to school, region to region. Jeez, holy crap. It is completely absurd to try these useless tactics or to try to sell these tactics.
You are work to these hoes, nigga. Again, being a simp and a trick are one and the same.
Semantics.
You are a weak man being taken advantage of. And your weakness is lack of dick discipline, lack of self-respect, lack of dignity. How dare a real man said, how dare this woman ask me to pay her for her time, for her pussy? But see, a lot of these older niggas, a lot of these suckers, they haven't had enough pussy in their life. They haven't gotten enough pussy in their life. So right now, they're reliving their teenage years.
That comment didn't really make any damn sense. I'm trying to make heads or tails of it. They didn't get enough pussy in their life. First of all, this is projection as hell. Let's just start there. This is projection as hell. Like, who's the man past 40 bragging about bitches? That's exactly what teenagers do, sir. Okay. But they never got pussy in their life, but they're bragging. So they're trying to relive their teenage years. I'm assuming by relive their teenage years, you mean relive the moment when they did get pussy. Right? So they did get it in their life. Anyway, it makes sense when you don't think about it. All right, somebody said something here. Let me see. If you know Room 222, I don't, which ran from 1969 to 1974, which is why I don't. One episode showed a guy who volunteered for Vietnam and went back to school. It said groovy and rap, and behind his back, other kids laughed. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell young dudes to wear parachute pants either. It's ridiculous. I mean, anyway, y'all remember that scene from "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker," where the dude, the pimp of the year, like from the '70s, you know, he had that song, he had that poem. He was like, "This bitch better have my money. You know, better have my money." And it was hilarious. And then when he got out the prison, this man had the hat, he had the jacket, he had the cane, and he was looking just so fresh and so fresh, so fresh and so fresh. And he was just doing his slow pimp walk with the glass heels with the fish in it. I don't know how that fish stayed alive so many years that he was locked up in prison, but that fish was just living off pimp juice, and he was just digging the scene with the gangster lean. He was just walking down the street, cruising down the street in his 6'4", like he was just with the old school caddy at the diamond in the back. He was just, yeah. And all the people was admiring him, so he thought. And then they started cracking jokes. And then he stopped his gangster stride, his peace stride, and he started running. And his shoe broke, and the fish came out. And next thing you know, he was hiding in the alley corner by a garbage can. That's this. That's what happens when you sell 90s game in 2026. That's what happens. That's how you come off to people. A person who is completely ill-capable of adjusting to time. Girls are completely different. Like young girls, like 18 and 20s, They're completely different than they were when you were in your teens and 20s. Completely different. And something tells me, and this is just judging from your behavior, that it didn't really work that well for you back then. So you're okay. You're gonna sell these dudes on what you should have done and what you think might work now. Unbelievable.
Like I told you, I don't judge these clowns by how many bitches they can get. Any nigga can get bitches by manipulation, lying, and paying. Judge these motherfuckers by how many hoes they can turn down. That mean bitches.
Dang, I pause it too much, but he constantly says stupid stuff. Okay, okay. I don't judge a man by how many bitches he can get. I judge him by how many he could turn down. Just judging by the nature of tricking. Okay, so take that HBO show that used to come on called Cat House. It's a place in Nevada. I think it's near Carson City, and it's a brothel because it's legal there. And guys, I think these guys are truckers, just by the looks of them, would go in and have a lineup of women, working girls. They would walk forward and say their name, and and then they step back. That was like the whole routine. Now I watched it on the show, and he would pick one. At that day, at that point, he has rejected the other, let's just say it's 10 of them, and he picks one. Then he just rejected 9 girls. So if you want to judge somebody on the number of women they reject, I don't think anybody rejects more than a trick. I mean, that's it. That's all. Like, I mean, when you look at Players Club, that one dude, Melvin, who was into Diamond, and he just kept, shoving $10 bills down her panties all night, and and he never got to hit it. I guess he's technically not a trick, but let's just pretend like he is for a second. He would reject all the other girls. That's what he did all day, every day. He rejected all the other girls so he could shove the money down Diamond's pants. Like, I don't think anybody rejects more than a trick. What are you talking about? It was called the Bunny Ranch. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I did want to go and reject everybody. I never did it. It's driving distance. A long drive, but it's driving distance from me. Um, I always wanted to one day go and not only reject them, but to really just sit there and pontificate for about 30 minutes while I do it. Just kind of sit there like, oh, well, okay, how about, well, I want number 3, but number 4, but 1 and 2 looks good. Ooh, but number 9, I want to do that for like 30 minutes just for, just, I was very young when that show came out, but that was the first thought that popped into my head. Like, what if somebody just sat there and did that for like 15, 35, 45 minutes, just sat there and then just walked out at the end like, oh, never mind. Like, that's just me, but yeah, I remember that show, and but those guys reject a lot. Is my whole point of bringing that up.
Bitches are interested. He doing something right. He got the whole smiling. In the world we live in right now, these women are easier than ever. I'll be damned if I paid a heifer.
Okay. They're not easier than ever. They're not. He knows that. The fact that he would just tell such a bold-faced lie really just shows what he's selling. He's a liar. People say that to make others feel insecure. That's it. Like, oh no, these hoes is easy. First of all, it's to aggrandize himself, like they're easy for me, and also to make it seem like you're the only one on the planet not getting laid, which is so not true. There is a sexless, um, what is it? Demographic. What is it called? Something. Um, Here, let me look it up. But there is a culture of sexlessness that did not exist in my time. Hold on, let's see. Men. Okay, I'm typing in percent of American men under 30 that didn't have sex in a year. One in three U.S. men ages 18 to 24, and that's the demographic he was talking about, reported no sexual activity in the past year. Okay. Um, Now I'm going to say in 1996. Let me say, let's just give it even 30 years, 1996. In 1996, 4% of men under 30 reported having no sex in the past year. This nigga is a fucking liar. He's a fucking liar. I can't stand people who lie to their own people, to their own youth like that. It went from 4%, and trust me, I lived through the 90s. If you were part of that 4%, it was really just an extraordinary circumstance for you. And that means like you were wheelchair bound, you were um, somebody who was from a different country, and you haven't made any adjustments to local culture whatsoever, none whatsoever. I don't even think that they are putting the mentally challenged in this category. So, but yeah, you were an outlier for whatever reason. That's about accurate. So it went from that, and in 30 years, it went to 33%, a third of the men. What this nigga's gonna say? Yeah, it's easier now than it's ever been. Shut your fucking lying ass up.
And I understand a lot of niggas have been lame. A lot of niggas were not the nigga in high school. A lot of niggas were not that nigga in college.
Well, if they're your age, only 4% weren't that nigga in high school. So yeah.
Niggas, didn't, have the gift of gab, and they need to work on that. It's attacking your sexual life. It's attacking your social life. Because most of your social life depends on this. You depend on this. But you niggas have made this shit so hot that now you're on the FBI watch list and all types of shit. And the young 18-year-old, 16-year-old brothers are out here thinking this is a way. Bad enough we got these hoes out here telling.
Well, it's not the way. I mean, it may be a way for 33% of them, but it's not really the way in the US because it's illegal. Like, that's why it's not the way.
Telling these young girls to sell their pussy at a young age. Break niggas for their money. You want to be the broken nigga for the money. So I hope we have this clear and clarity. We are not talking about niggas who travel. By all means, see the world. But there are certain places where you niggas name where I know why you're going.
Doesn't matter.
You're not going to lie to us, and we're not stupid over here at the church. We know why you go where you go.
By the way, 33% is a game dude's wet dream. And that's just the ones who haven't had any in the past year. You know, we're not even going to include the ones who just had, like, you know, a few lucky occurrences. We're not even going to talk about that. Like, you know, but 33%, or actually, no, what is it? No, it says nearly a third. So it's 30.9%. 30.9%, 3 out of 7. Is a wet dream to somebody like him, because they look at that as a market share. They're looking, he's selling the possibility of sex. That's his game. That's his industry. He's selling the possibility of sex. He's like, listen, you can't really do that when, you know, it's only 4% of the adult population, of the young adult male population. You can't really sell in that environment. But in an environment where it's 33, 1 in 3, 1 in 3 men are your potential customers. Oh, you should be just clocking the dollars, but you're not. And the reason that you're not is because, one, they know what you're selling is bullshit. The smart ones see through you. And two, they know that what the Passport Bros is showing them is not bullshit. Point blank, period. Oh, and by the way, trust me, only in the Black community is this a new phenomenon. Only in the Black community is this a new phenomenon. What was that? What was that movie that I reviewed? Last American Virgin. In the movie Last American Virgin, which I think took place in like the 70s or something like that, it was 3 dudes. They really didn't have trouble getting it. I mean, one of them did, but that's because he was nervous. He was awkward. And he was very young. Actually, didn't he eventually get it? I don't know. But nevertheless. But what did they do? They bought a woman. They just put their money together. There was no shame. There was no, oh, this is undignified and blah, blah, blah. They just like, hey, let's get together and buy one. And that's that. And white dudes do it in their movies all the time, like Hamburger Hill. You know, like, you know, they were at Vietnam. They were in Vietnam. No, not Hamburger Hill. Full Metal Jacket, I think it was. You know, and she's like, anything you want. Like, you know, and they didn't care. They didn't care about looking a certain way in front of their friends. It's only brothers that de-police like that.
Before we get started, doing this for the game tonight.
Holy crap.
For the game and the culture tonight, man. Y'all been asking for a good passport. A good passport bro breakdown. Y'all been asking for a good passport bro breakdown. Before we get
it doesn't need to be broken down. It's a very simple concept.
Into this tonight. Before we get into this tonight, man. Rest in peace for Simple to P. We're gonna restore this order. We're gonna get this game back intact.
Okay, I want y'all to take a look at this picture in his dress pattern. It's not modern. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Your best. I ain't got to do all that talking. You know, my money speak for me. Spoke like a true trick. Spoke like a true boss trick that you are.
Trick.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do all of that mouthpiece of shit. You know what I'm saying? My situation, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? My money, you know what I mean? My money talk, you know what I'm saying? The incomparable Mel Taylor taught Andre Taylor, who taught me that we never glorify money. Mel Taylor taught Andre Taylor that Andre Taylor taught Sinful to P that we do not glorify money to no woman. We glorify gain. Because when you exalt.
Huh? What do you mean glorify money to them? We glorify gain to them. That none of that makes sense. But okay.
Money to a woman, you are making provisions to get knocked by anybody and everybody that has more money than you. By you exalt.
Okay. All right. Doesn't that mean that, you know, if you glorify gain, and I don't know what they mean by glorify, but if you glorify gain, and I think what they mean is use said thing as a tactic, then doesn't that leave you vulnerable to lose out to somebody who has more game than you? I mean, basically what you're saying is you have more game than money. So you believe. And the cold part is none of these dudes have game.
Exalting money, as soon as a woman comes into a situation that's greater than what you have, a trick can give you a phone call because you was money over everything, money over money this and money that. And as soon as that woman come in the presence of somebody who has way more money than you, she's impressed. And she's getting ready to sit up there, you understand me, and try to progress, even though she gonna transgress, you know what I mean, with him. Why? Because you was exalting money. We don't exalt money. Tricks got way more money than pimps will ever have.
I'm pausing. By the way, don't think that I'm buffering or anything like that. I know that that was dead air, but I really just had to pause and process. I wish I could see the look on my face. When this ninja just said tricks have more money than pimps ever will have. Nigga. You just made pimps look like the losers of the whole dynamic. You just made tricks, or you just made pimps look like the losers of the whole dynamic. And now I'm thinking about this whole dynamic completely different. Now, because a trick is spending his disposable income his recreational funds on a hoe. And a hoe, in essence, is really spending her recreational funds on a pimp. Nigga. He just basically called pimps broke.
Money just comes with the territory of us giving deposits of loyalty to the game. We don't exalt green papers with dead hypocrites on it.
Wow, that is the brokest thing I heard a black man say, and that's saying a lot. The brokest thing I hear people say, I ever hear men say, comes from black men. This dude is running completely contrary to every pimp that I've ever, seen, talked to, heard of, or anything. They always say it's all about the money. You know, like even in my favorite movie about the topic, which is the Mac. Um, Pretty Tony, he was like, you see that nigga was after the honey. I'm after the money. But he's just saying it's not about money. Then what is it about? Too, like if it's not about money, then what the hell are you pimping for? If it's not about money, then what the hell are you pimping for? I get the feeling that Jap and people like Jap really just listen to how something is said versus what is said. And and black people are really known for that. Most black churches, most Baptist churches are like that, where, the preacher really just knows how to, adjust his voice and, hit certain high notes and, and say things in the right way. And if he's very good at this, you'll realize that he's really not saying shit. Anyway,
exalt the game.
Rest in peace, my brother, man. I love listening to that every day, especially when I have to address the tricks. And I want to ask you all something. All the brothers in the room, should a woman be paying you for your valuable time and all that you have to offer?
Well, it depends. Like, she can. What's the currency that she would pay for it? Is the question. And I find it amazing that he just bigged up that, you shouldn't worship, green pieces of paper. And then he's like, should a hoe be paying you? But nevertheless, why don't you introduce me to the hoes that are paying you? Why don't you introduce me to these invisible hoes that are paying you?
Or should you be paying these hoes? I just want to know, should a woman be paying you or you should be paying her? Because we talk all this shit about simping and all this shit. Should a woman be paying you? All that we put up in the world, a bitch should be serving us. TBAS, Jap, I got an issue with my girl. Can you help? Email me. We'll talk about it. set up a consultation with me.
You are completely lost if you find yourself emailing this ninja for help.
Do you not see any value in yourself? Have you ever received a significant amount of money from one of these bitches?
Okay. The fact that you said "have you ever" means that you probably have, but it happens so infrequently that you have to reminisce. Like, do you remember the time I have? Like that was a lifelong accomplishment. Some bitch somewhere gave you 3 figures, and you remembered it for the rest of your life.
Do you not feel that you deserve that? Or do you continuously go out here and promote the inflated egos of these bitches?
So, no matter what, through playerness, through any attempts that you make to get in their pants, even if you are a P, let's be clear, is inflating their egos. If you are under the impression that pimps aren't out trying to quote unquote knock hoes and getting rejected all the time, and the hoes are getting off on that, you have another thing coming. Listen, we're going to go back to, once again, my favorite movie on the topic, which is The Mac. There was a scene where Pretty Tony and Sonny were rolling dice, bragging about their pimp ex-boys, at least Pretty Tony was. And he was talking about his main bitch, China Doll. And how much money she gonna bring. China Doll overheard the conversation, and then she went and chose Sonny. And then Sonny responded with, "Hey, Pretty Tony, your bitch chose me. You know how the game is played. We can handle this like gentlemen, or we could get into some gangster shit." Now, Pretty Tony was upset. You know, he took his cane out and beat one of his employees, one of his lackeys, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Who has the power in that dynamic? China Doll. That's who. China Doll had the power. Pretty Tony thought he had the power, but she had the power to take power away from him. She has that same power over Sonny. Collectively speaking, all of his hoes do. He's only a pimp because they allow him to be a pimp. That's the power that they possess. Kind of like the same power that a trick has over a hoe. She's only a hoe because I choose to pay her. That's the trick powers. That's the trick's power. he has the power to make her the top hoe. He has the power to make her a broke hoe. If that hoe gets beat by her pimp, and we're talking about like 70s pimp, because she didn't get enough money, then it's really the trick who beat her, even though it was the pimp's hand. The trick can say, if I don't pay, you get beat. You see, these guys really have a very skewed understanding of the power dynamic. And let's not even talk about like a modern hose power. Hold on. Let's see. How long because a modern hoe could just say human trafficking at any point in time. How long? Let me say how much time do you get for human trafficking in Illinois? In Illinois, a commissioner for human trafficking can carry anywhere from 1 to 60 years in state prison. She has the power to put you away for a year from 1 to 60 years. She has the power to do that.
We're not even in hookup culture anymore.
So y'all see how this nigga is lying? Didn't you just say, nigga? Didn't you just say it's easier to get pussy now than it's ever been, but we not in hookup culture anymore? Well, sir, how is it easier if the women are no longer hooking up?
I hear people throwing that around a lot. We're not in hookup culture anymore. We're in prostitute and John culture.
This is wild as fuck. Why in the hell are you telling people to try to hook up when you're not in a fucking hookup culture? Game is for hookup culture, sir. And this goes back to what I was saying with adjust for the times. That's why he's selling 90s game in 2026. We're not in a hookup culture. Then why in the fuck are you telling people how to hook up? Holy shit. That's like a swordsman telling people the importance of using a sword in a machine gun world. And then shitting on people who's using a machine gun. All right. Somebody said it still is work. I want you to come up and we can discuss that. TD, tell him. Tell me how it works, and please explain.
And if you niggas cared about your reputation, you wouldn't have came online bragging about buying third world prostitute.
Because they don't care about their fucking reputation. Like, what reputation? Only black men talk about their street cred and rep into their fucking 40s. Are you kidding me? It's my reputation. Okay, so you were saying it still works. I see the truth in that, but I want to give your perspective because I can tell you have a lot more in your mind.
Yeah, it still works, even though if you're saying that it's not hookup culture, it's now pimp and prostitute culture.
Well, he
It
said
still
trick
works.
and prostitute. Let's be
My
clear.
bad.
He didn't
Trick
even
and
mention that
prostitute. My
pimps
bad.
exist in the modern culture. But go ahead.
Trick and prostitute. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still works because at the end of the day, regardless of money and all the other things, women are still hooking up with men and still getting with men based on how they feel about those guys.
No, this is
It's
true.
it's always gonna be some guys that and this goes for every woman. There's always going to be guys that woman will meet or that woman can meet and encounter that she's not going to want anything from them, but just to be physically involved with them. So
That's also true.
if you're not looking to pay, the option to not pay is still there.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Do you think that that's something that can be learned from Minister Jap?
I've been following Jeff for a few years. Yeah. When he's being serious about talking about it, when he's doing, I guess you could say when he's doing his live streams and he's being more of a character, maybe not so much, but in his moments when he's like having the whole serious moment explaining it, yeah.
What evidence do you have that it's worked for him?
I would imagine it worked for him simply because he still keeps talking it. I just don't see people talking something that doesn't work and still talking it for like a number of years.
Sorry, are you familiar with get rich quick schemes?
Oh yeah, of course.
So you say you're not familiar with somebody talking about something that don't work. Wouldn't you say that's an example of somebody talking about something that don't work?
Yeah, but I guess it'd be if game was something that didn't work, then maybe. But
No, well, I mean, there exist rich people, right?
right, of course. Hmm.
And then there exist people who are selling the notion that anyone could get rich if they
Hmm.
follow this procedure. That's the scheme. So you do
Right,
understand
right,
so you do understand the concept of somebody selling something that don't work over an extended period of time, right?
right. Okay, I get where you're coming from. Okay, I get you.
And you also get the concept of people who are not psychics, but they are pretending to be psychics, right?
Yeah, of course. We all remember the psychic hotline.
Right. So the notion that somebody is selling something that doesn't work
Hmm.
is a very real thing. Now, just like rich people exist,
Hmm.
people who are successful in the regard, in that aspect of life also
Hmm.
exist. The question is, and there's really two questions, a two-part question.
Okay.
Is Minister Jap one of those people? And is he successful in that regard? Actually, those questions should be said in reverse. Is
Okay.
he successful in that regard? And is he able to transmit that success onto others? And why do you believe that he is and that he can?
I believe that he is and that he can because there are things that he has said that I have seen work in real life.
Really? Give example.
Basically just how you deal with women in general. Like when he's like, we don't idolize women. We don't put them on a pedestal. And he's not the first person I've heard say that.
I
Let me
understand.
start with that. Let me
Well,
start with that.
okay, so describe to me how not idolizing them worked.
Basically, like when I don't want to touch the passport bro thing because that's I know
You can
that's
touch whatever you
the
like. Go
topic for
ahead.
tonight. But it's like, okay, so I see that as idolizing. I've seen guys explain that as idolizing because you're going overseas to get a woman, and the problem with that is women are just really so easy to get in reality. There's no reason to go overseas to get a woman. You can get a woman wherever you are.
Okay. Please describe to me how it worked. How the notion of not idolizing them worked. Well, first of all, what do you mean by work? You mean like have sex with them? Like, is that what you mean by work?
Yeah, like it
Okay. So
in order to date, in order to have sex with them, to hook up with them,
right.
because
Okay.
I see a lot of guys.
Describe to me how
Sorry.
not idolizing them has helped men or you or anyone hook up.
Because I see when a lot of guys, when a man idolizes a woman, he puts her like on a pedestal, and he approaches her and deals with her from a position of like she's somehow better than him,
Hmm.
and that's the issue I've seen a lot of guys have because I forgot I heard someone say like a few months ago, I can't
Well,
remember the content creator who said it.
I mean, not to interrupt, but please
Yeah.
describe how it ends, because I understand the concept. Please
Hmm.
describe to me how that ends
Hmm.
with your penis in one of her holes. Please describe the step-by-step process.
Okay, so not idolizing that woman. In other words, you don't put her on a pedestal. You don't look at her as better than you. So you talk to her not as if you're trying to impress her or like you're, trying to even audition for her. You're talking to her as she's a person, and that alone makes a difference in just how that woman responds because women know why men are approaching them. They know what they're approaching them for. They may pretend not to know. Women love to feign ignorance, but they're fully aware of what's going on. And
Hmm.
then you have men who will put them on a pedestal, and basically they'll play that game with them, and then they get upset when they play that game with the woman, and then they feel like they got played and nothing came out of it. But it's like you're putting the woman on a pedestal, and you're afraid to just come out and just be open and honest about what it is you're trying to do. The woman knows why you're there, so there's
Oh, wait a
no.
minute, wait a minute. So,
Mhm.
what words would you say? Say you have woman X here, right?
Okay.
That you're not putting on a pedestal. So you walk over to her and you say, "Go."
You just start a conversation. Depends on the environment, but like there's no the game itself is basically how the man carries himself when he's interacting with that woman.
Understood.
Right. So as long as he's, just not coming at her with that nervous energy or like what you say, like that negativity. Cause like, guys will approach a woman and they'll automatically say, yeah, man, I'm gonna try to holler at her, but I don't, I don't think a chick like that will holler at a guy like me. But it's just like,
No, what you're talking about is absence of negatives. Like don't be
okay, all right.
nervous. Don't be nervous.
Mm-hmm,
Don't have a defeatist mentality. No, I
mm-hmm.
get all of these things.
Okay, okay.
Absence of negatives. Well, we're talking about positives that yield positive results.
Mm-hmm,
So, like, because if people are paying this guy to say don't be nervous,
mm-hmm.
they're wasting their money. I could truly say that.
Okay.
But nevertheless, how does this whole philosophy of not putting it on a pedestal? So you say be honest with them, right?
Yeah.
So you should walk up to them and say, "Hey, listen, I want to fuck you the moment you
Mm-hmm.
come out the shower with your hair still wet."
Okay.
No, I'm asking, is that what the
You
confidence
can
leads to?
that is something that you can say. And if that woman is feeling you, that will work.
Okay.
Mhm.
Has that and does that ever work for Jap, let's say?
See, I can't say whether it's worked for Jap or not, only because I'm a viewer. I'm not with Jap 24/7. Do I
Well,
believe it's
but
worked for him? Yeah.
he's trying to sell you a lifestyle that
Hmm.
you don't know that he has.
Okay.
Why would anyone buy that?
Okay. All right. Good question. So,
Because you just said you don't know Jap.
right, I don't know him personally.
But you're
Right.
saying
Right.
that he's qualified to sell this thing. Okay, So, I mean, would you go to a doctor and you don't know he's a doctor? Like, I mean,
Well, see, but that's the thing. Like, as far as okay, so trying to compare a doctor to a game coach, the doctor has like credentials that you can actually look up to verify for their practice and whatnot. With a game coach, you can try to find people to give what is it to give reviews or to testimonials. I said testimonials. You can try to find people to give testimonials, but then the problem with that becomes with testimonials, you and I both know that sometimes those can be faked. Whereas with a doctor's credibility, a doctor's license, whatever, you can actually like that's something you can verify. You can actually look that up and like, okay, this doctor, this doctor is licensed to practice this particular form of medicine. If you go back far enough, you're like, okay, they graduated from this particular school. This is where they studied, blah blah blah. Whereas with a game coach, there's no accreditation for that. Like there's no school that teaches that gives accreditation. So for that, that's
well,
where
but there
basically
is.
the game.
There's street accreditation.
But
Like,
you
you know, a
can't.
pimp is
But
a
that's not
pimp when you
something
see
you.
him.
That's not something you can look up. Like like you can't go to an institution and look that up to confirm. You get
No,
you
you
get what I'm
can't
saying. You get what
look
I'm
it up.
saying.
But once again, it's street credibility. Like, so typically, wouldn't that mean that um, a guy just has like a harem of women that he can display at his leisure?
No, no, doesn't mean he'd have a harem that he could
I'm
display.
sorry.
No, no, you wouldn't have a harem of women that you could display because one of the things about dealing with women is they okay. Women don't like to be put on the spot like that. That's why this whole thing with receipts, as far
However,
as
if
dating
game,
goes.
no,
Mhm.
I get it. But however, if game is the ability to maneuver women into
No, no,
your
no.
will.
See, and okay, hold on. That's what the problem is right there. That's not what game
Okay.
is. A lot of people.
Oh,
Okay,
really? What is
so a lot
game?
of game is nothing more than you're essentially filtering through the women and finding the ones who like you. That's what game is. Game is not finding a woman who's not attracted to you and then you convince her to like you. That is not game. And anyone that tries to sell game under that premise, no, that's not what game
Well, I
is.
really didn't say that. I was saying that, maneuvering a woman to your own will. Like, okay, I'm putting it like this because now,
Okay.
now it's getting really, really weird. Okay, um, basically, what you're saying is that the only thing a game teach you
Hmm.
that the game can teach you is to get the
Hmm.
women who already likes you.
Right.
Is what you just said.
Right.
That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. That is
Okay.
absolutely nothing. If I go to a venue and there's 100 women and one of them like me,
Hmm.
and I get with that woman,
Hmm.
whether I'm attracted to her or not, that's the one that likes me. I have accomplished nothing through game because she already liked me. What
What's
the
the
hell was
problem?
that?
What's the problem with that? What's
There's
wrong with that?
nothing sold. That was a nothing. That was a whole nothing. That was a whole nothing. You
Okay.
will leave that situation with
Uh
the
huh.
exact same thing that you would have left with had you have not had the game. Let me show you something though, because you're like they don't
Okay.
like to be displayed, receipts, this, and this. Let me show you.
Yeah.
Let me show you
Okay.
something.
Hmm.
Gonna share screens with you.
All right.
All right. So let's just take a look at what it looks like when a guy actually shows his work. Let's see.
Okay.
This guy has two wives. Let's see, double the love. Okay, let's see how this works. Sorry.
I was shocked when I found out. Why did you want to bring a younger woman to the dynamics instead of someone around your age?
Hi, my name is Yaya.
My name is Molly.
My name's Jada.
My age is 34.
And I'm 40.
I'm 26.
Me and Yaya have been together for 12 years.
Molly and I decided I was always attracted to females, but I never acted on it. And then when I got in a relationship,
All right, so that's what it looks like when somebody displays work. Um,
What
well,
what show is this?
this is
Or is
Love
this
Don't
a
Judge.
show?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
So
displaying his
okay.
work on this show. Yes.
Okay.
So
So is this a reality show on like
it's a YouTube
Netflix or
channel.
something?
It's a YouTube
YouTube?
channel, just like
Okay.
Japs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it seems like a person would go to him before they go to Jap, but because he's actually showing women with tits and stuff. Um, however, Jap hasn't shown anything in all the years that you've watched him. However, you feel that he's an expert more than this guy. Why is that?
I don't even know who this guy is. First of all, I've never heard of him.
Well, that's because guys who actually get it like that
Hmm.
don't go online and pretend like they get it like that, like Jap is doing. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So
Normally, he expresses feelings about
Yeah.
certain things.
he's just out living his lives with his wives, while Jap is talking about it.
Okay.
So why should men give money to talkers versus doers?
First of all, this is a YouTube show.
Jap
Like,
is a YouTube show.
right. Okay. So with that being said, that could just be all production.
Jap can't even produce this. He can't even find women to pretend to do this.
You sure? I'm pretty sure if he pays, then he can hire some women
But
to
then
act
he will be
like that.
tricking. Then he will be tricking. So he don't
No,
have the he
if
don't
he's doing it for production, no. If he's doing it for
no. He's
production,
paying women for street cred. He's cheating in the game. How come he don't use his game to get
mhm.
women to even pretend? I mean, he can't use game to get women to pretend to fuck him.
Okay, but okay, all
So
right,
why would you think that
all
he could
right,
use
all right.
game to get women to actually fuck him?
Because that's not important. Trying to show who are you showing off for?
People that you want to convince to pay you.
You
If
can't.
you
You
say that you
cannot. But you
listen,
can.
you
Okay, all
have
right.
to demonstrate. You have to demonstrate.
You
Okay, like
cannot
say
demonstrate like that with women. It does not. You cannot do that with women. It does not work that way.
That makes no sense. Let me ask you a question real quick.
All right, go ahead.
If you were, and I trust me, I'll put it this way.
Hmm.
When we having this discussion, I don't want you to take nothing personal. I don't have nothing against you. I'm just more passionate about this topic than others, right? So don't take it like I'm trying to be aggressive or hostile. But if you went to somebody, right, that
Hmm.
was, let's say they were a relationship expert,
Okay.
wouldn't you be a little bit suspicious if you never see their wife or their husband?
No.
You wouldn't want to say, "Hey, like this person is giving out advice, but I can't see a reflection."
um however, Jack was unable to produce the receipts that this guy's doing. And you have to ask yourself why.
Yeah, and I wanted to say something. What's your name, by the way?
Game changer.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
not
my bad.
no, no,
Come
not
on,
me.
man. It's Azrael.
Yeah, gotcha.
What's your name?
TD, tell him.
Okay, I will call you TD.
Yeah,
You
that
know
works. TD.
why the movement is getting so big is because people have, you can put what we're doing, or I know not everyone's a passport, but what our brothers that are doing that are traveling, they are
Hmm.
putting things to the acid test. They can see the comparison. I don't know if you saw MTR's recent video. It was this
Yeah,
girl,
I saw it.
the one with the girl. They were asking him what's great about a black woman, and she's like talking about, oh, the fact that we don't need any niggas and niggas ain't this. And it's like my mom didn't need my dad. Like she just went on a tirade, right? You don't
Yeah.
people that into a lot of brothers' mind. Like, damn, I've told people I've been over 20 countries. All right,
Hmm.
I see the difference. I've never let me show you. This is what I look like. I could lose a little bit of weight, but I'm not an ugly dude. But I don't believe I don't look like Quasimodo. At least I would say that, right?
Okay. Okay.
What I look like. Long story short, what I'm trying to tell you is I haven't had to ever pay. Do I have an issue with guys paying? No, because at the end of the day, some guys are gonna have to pay on the back end. Some guys are gonna pay off the front end, right? I mean, there are
Okay.
people that, you know, I have do what you want. Do you think that, like, prime example, do you think Warren Buffett cares if you think he don't have game or not, and he could buy 2 women for the night? I know Game Changer brought up Bill Gates, but it's like at that point in time is more important than money, right? But my point is, there's a lot of things that are going on in America right now that culturally, like, for example, when you said, "Oh, just go up and talk to them," I get what you're saying, and I used to cold approach back in the day, but I don't do that no more. I stopped dating almost going on 2 years, you know.
Okay.
And my issue is I don't feel as though women in America like men, right? And granted, if people want to still date here, do you? But whatever happens, you can't just say, "Oh, that you didn't know," because you have women talk about man versus bear. You're talking about women always talking about, as soon as watch the holidays come up, they're gonna be talking about, "Oh, should we fix a man a plate," right? They're gonna be talking about decentering men. They're gonna all this stuff, like, and even people can't say, "Oh, that's just the internet." In day-to-day interactions, if women feel as though you're not this highly attractive dude, they don't even acknowledge you as a human being. They're very mean and nasty.
See, the problem I have with that is
I have to disagree with some of what you said.
Oh, which part?
I have to disagree with what you said because the highly attractive dude. And this isn't me thumping on dude with the 2 wives, but he's no Boris Koja. Just
I
as
hear
you
what
are
you're
no
saying.
Quasimodo.
But what I'm saying is, like, in your everyday, yeah, go ahead.
No. So what I'm saying is, you know, it can happen regardless of that. He knows something that many other guys don't, but most importantly, he knows something that Jap don't know. However, Jap is pretending that he knows, just like he's pretending like he got a bunch of hoes. Why would you, and I'm talking to TD, convince someone to follow someone with no evidence of their success when there exist people with evidence of their success?
Is the gentleman with the YouTube show with the 2 women, is he trying to promote any kind of product or something where he's giving advice on dating and relationships?
No.
Okay.
Guys who have it like that never actually try to sell it to others. Ever. Kind of like Michael Jordan never gave, like, you know, flying lessons to nerds. You know, it's kind of like that. They know that it's a fruitless endeavor.
Albert Einstein is not going to go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Albert Einstein's not out teaching genius to, you know, non-geniuses.
Right. He's not going around.
No, but really, they just understand that, you know, it's a series of fortunate circumstances that he took advantage of. And I'm saying that anybody who's trying to sell this to you is complete cap, and anybody who's trying to sell it to you without evidence of the lifestyle that they're trying to sell is complete and total full of shit. That's what I'm saying about Jap. And I think that right quick, brother. You mentioned something about passport bros and pedestalizing women. How is their attempts different than what Jap is trying to get brothers to do? Curious.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Because again, why go overseas just to get a woman?
Why do people leave the hood to get?
Why go to a club to get one?
You don't have to go to a club to get a woman. You don't have to go overseas.
Okay, well,
to
why
get
go?
one.
Why go anywhere to get one?
Why go? Why go out of your way? I'll put it like that: going to a club, going to a club is going to be a lot more convenient than going overseas to find a woman. I'll say that.
TD, that's all about perspective, right? Because let's say I'm a rapper.
Well, can I say this right quick, Azrael?
Go ahead.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to.
Because if you okay, put it like this. Why go to Jap Isn't that also going out your way?
If you're not able to get women,
Why go to Jap? I mean, for whatever reason.
no, I'm saying
Like,
if you're not able to get women, if you've been trying to get women on your own and you've not been successful,
mhm.
why not give Jap a chance?
Okay. Now, if you have been trying and you're not
Hmm.
successful, why
Hmm.
not give Colombia a chance?
That is a great question. Now, I'll counter that with, because the problem is definitely going to be you if you have to leave the country to get a woman.
The problem is definitely you
When
if you have to ask another man how to get a woman.
Yes, the problem is also you, but you don't have to leave the country to get a woman.
Can
You don't
I
You
have
ask
to
him?
can
ask Jap. You don't have to ask Jap if, to get a woman.
No, you would
I think
no,
the difference. I think the difference
you
is
would
that
need to ask Jap.
Can I ask him a question? Because I got a couple of questions I asked him though.
Go for it.
No, it's to piggyback on what GC said about what Jap is selling, but at the same hand, on the same end, Jap is selling that all these women are German shepherds. It's like he's talking at both sides of his mouth. You say that these
I
women are
can't
German
front. I
shepherds.
do love that part.
Yeah, you're talking about these women are German shepherds. It's just a grift,
Hmm.
bro. A lot of these niggas that are on these game shit. It's really a
Hmm.
grift because if you're telling men that these women are, he literally, if you type in Minister Jap passports, he has a video out saying,
He has
yeah, no,
several videos calling
no,
them
no,
German shepherds.
no. He has no. I'm talking about a video. I know that for sure. He has a video called 30 women not to deal with, 30 types of women not to deal with.
Hmm.
Obviously, that's more than likely women he's talking about in the West, right?
Hmm.
So if you're telling me these are 30 women not to deal with, 30 types
Hmm.
of women,
Hmm.
wouldn't it make more sense? You know what? Let me not deal with that situation and let me go somewhere else. If you're telling me I have to study 30, it's like if somebody tell you, oh, you gotta study 30 defenses. Like, what? That don't make no sense. You game planning. You gotta figure out 30 schemes for a team. That's just overblow. You make the game simple, right? And like I said, I'm not advocating for men buying boxes. I'm telling you, the best treatment I've ever gotten, just being
Hmm.
even a black man, was overseas, bro. Let me. I don't want to go on a tangent, but let me just say this.
Hmm.
And I've said this story multiple times, and people always heard this. I
Hmm.
went to Japan 2 years ago, right? Took my uncle. My uncle's a tall dude. He's like 6'3", 6'4", right?
Okay.
Sitting on the train, and right next to him was a Japanese lady, right? So he took up a lot of space. She looked at him, looked at me, and then looked at him again. And
Hmm.
then she said, "Would you like to sit?" And at the time I was learning Japanese, I said, "Dozo, dozo." Like, no, it's fine, it's okay. She
Hmm.
said, "No, I insist," and got up
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
gave me the seat.
Hmm.
Right? There's been plenty of other situations, right? I give you another situation where I was struggling to put money in a vending machine. I was at a place
Hmm.
called Yokohama. It's like almost like the Six Flags, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
and there was a group of girls. There was some of them were Japanese, some of them were Bengali, some of them were mixed, right? Because there's a lot of people from Southeast Asia that go over to Tokyo. They
Right.
said, "Oh, do you need any help?" I said, "Well, I guess so." And they literally said, "Oh, don't worry." They took the money out of my hand, got me, put the money in the vending machine, and handed me the drink. I
Hmm.
will never experience that in America, bro. Unless niggas got to be Chris Brown to experience that type of
right,
shit, bro.
he's saying that the culture. Yeah. He's saying that the game is rigged here. I'm going to go to Passport Salvation, and then I'm going to show you what's on the screen. I think you've already
Hmm.
seen it. Here you
I'll
have
follow
a dude that looks like the dude that's on the screen, and you see the women, plural, that he's dealing with in Colombia. Once again, if Jack can show us these results here in the States, then I'm pretty sure a lot more people will be more inclined to listen to him. But there's a reason why this video has gotten, let's see, 360, or excuse me, 351,000 views. And Jap's videos rarely get past 10,000 views. There's a reason for that. And the difference is results. But we're going to hear from Passport Salvation. and then I'll talk about this a little bit more.
What's
Top
up,
first
fellas?
salvation,
Yeah. You hear me?
You're low.
You hear me? You hear me?
No, you're low.
Hold on.
Barely. You're very low, brother.
Hold on. Let me take off my Wi-Fi.
I don't know. I don't know. I could kind of hear him pretty decently. I don't know. Maybe just turn on your computer might be low or something.
Okay, maybe it's just me. Go ahead. Well, I hear you.
You hear me now?
At greater value than I hear count. But go ahead.
You hear me now? Better?
Go for it. You got it, Creek.
Okay. Well,
yeah, you got it, Creek. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would like to extend the olive branch to Mr. TD. I'm a passport bro of all kinds, and I want you to tell me, because I'm willing to renounce my passport if you can make a good, compelling argument on where could a brother go.
No, you don't have to renounce your passport. You don't have to do that.
Hold on. Where would a brother who's a passport bro that wants to renounce his passport to stay over here? Because, like I said, why travel for a woman when there's plenty of women in the States?
Mm-hmm.
Can you sell me on where could I go to get a woman in the States, in the United States of America?
Anywhere in the United States.
Specifically.
No. The United States, anywhere. Okay, I'm not gonna ask where you live because
Florida.
I'm not gonna do that. Oh hell.
He's
anywhere in Florida.
He says he lives in Miami. Would you recommend him go in Miami out of all places?
What are you looking for the woman for? Are you looking for like a long-term relationship, or are you just looking for something quick and fast?
I'm older
for a
now,
wife?
For a wife.
Yeah, I would not recommend the Miami scene. Heck no.
But I live in Florida.
Miami's not the only place in Florida.
Hey, would you recommend? I happen to reside in the southern tri county, so almost everywhere else I would have to go out of my way to go.
Would you recommend him go to Jacksonville?
I'd recommend Jacksonville for a long-term relationship before Miami.
So I think what he's getting at is that you would recommend that he travels. Given the cultural circumstances from where he lives, he would have to travel elsewhere. And
I could see him. I can see him traveling outside. I can see him traveling outside of Miami, but he definitely does not have to go overseas to get a woman.
Well, you see, the thing is that right quick, brother, that relative to Miami is very close to places like the Dominican Republic and stuff.
Damn it,
it's closer to that than it is to New York.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously, but it's a whole different state.
What's the difference between going there versus going to New York?
I'm pretty sure you can get to New York easier than you can get overseas.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure you can't because, as I mentioned,
really.
Okay, like I said, I'm in the southern tri-county, close to Miami, so I'm like 2 or 3 counties.
I would not recommend Miami for a long-term relationship simply because Miami is more of a party town. Women going there, they are not looking to settle down. They are going there to have fun.
This is where my parents planted their flag, and I grew up here. This is the hand that I was doing.
The exception to the rule is not the rule.
Hey, I'm not saying exception to the rule, but like I said, my parents planted their flag here, and I grew up 30 plus years over here in the southern tri-county area. That's why I'm giving you information to for a person like me, not a person that live in Mississippi, Wyoming, Ohio, etc. I'm talking about somebody that lives in the prime real estate of South Florida.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do it like this here, right? You see the screen.
Can I
what dating coach was able to show results like what we see here on the screen? Like these two.
This is the same. This is the same show, right?
No, this is a different guy. This one is actually somebody in Colombia.
This is a travel.
Yeah, he's in Colombia, and he's showing his work. Hold on, Ezra. So, what dating coach has shown these type of results in the States? Keep in mind, this guy isn't a dating coach.
You said this guy's not a dating coach?
No.
Okay, cool.
This guy is not a dating coach.
Okay, so he's showing 2 women that
So
he's
once again,
current.
He's showing his overall
that
experience
currently lives
traveling
with them.
overseas.
Yes.
Okay, so he's showing you 2 women that he currently deals with overseas, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
In a passport bro fashion. So
what
once
exactly
again,
is so what is so outstanding about this though?
okay. Okay. If it's not outstanding, could you show the American dating coach? Could you name the American dating coach?
I would
Who
not.
is
I would not tell you about an American dating coach because again, these receipts are useless.
really? How come
It's
receipts are
great.
useless?
It's great marketing.
But he's not
Okay, it's
marketing anything.
fantastic
They are.
marketing.
But once
It's
again,
fantastic
but
marketing, but it
okay,
means
it is
nothing.
fantastic marketing. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
he's not marketing a product. They are.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this
Not even
is
marketing how to get
fantastic
women.
marketing that they are unable to recreate. So I ask you again, if they are not able to show results that people want, why buy a product like that?
You do
Uh,
you do understand the nature of what their product would be, right?
Please
You
enlighten
do
me.
you do understand that would be you would have to show essentially being with multiple women on a regular basis, like every couple of weeks at the least.
This with these, but the passport bros, but again, sir, the passport bros
Uh-huh.
are able to show that result,
They're
and
showing the passport bros will
your
show
dating
you like
coaches
maybe
aren't.
1 or 2 women. The passport bro will show you maybe 1 or 2 women that they're dealing with overseas.
Well, that's
That
one or
they're
two
dealing
more
with.
than Jab. Once again,
And 1 or 2
that's
more than
one or two more
Lucario.
than that's one or two more than
No,
anybody. If you
hold
take all
on.
the
Why
common
y'all?
dating coaches in this space,
Hold on. Why y'all
Yeah,
got it? Why
well,
why
right
Lucario
quick,
got to
no,
catch
no,
a
no, no,
slug like that? He's not even
right quick,
here.
right quick. Listen. These 2 girls are
Uh
more
huh.
receipts than all of the dating coaches in this space combined.
Not really.
Yes, really.
No, you're showing
Yes.
2. No, you're showing 2 women. We don't know what goes on when these cameras are not on.
So
Oh
you can see
Christ.
IRL.
That's not a confirmation that he's doing it. No,
It's
he's showing
more.
2 women.
It's more
It
of
is
a
not.
confirmation.
It
Listen,
is
understand this.
not.
Understand this. It's more of a confirmation than what they have shown.
No, it's not more of a
What
confirmation.
confirmation did any of those guys we just named? What did they show?
Has
Thank you.
anyone ever taken what any of those guys have said and actually tried to put it into play? Tried to actually use it?
I've seen it, but it be put into play
No,
with
no, no,
Wait,
no,
wait, wait,
Wait,
wait,
hold
wait.
on.
no,
What are you
no,
talking
no,
about? You're
no.
talking about what passport bros?
Like, see, no, not passport bros. No, not passport bros.
Talking
I'm
about
talking about
dating
just
coaches.
yeah. I'm saying, has anyone ever taken? Because here's the thing. The thing about the dating coaches, and no one notices this. The dating coaches give so much of that game away for free
who's
before you
actually
could before you would even have to buy any of that. So much of that they just give it away for free.
hold on,
Has
I
Okay,
got a
anyone
so
question.
ever
what have they given? What have they given you for free that you've tried and it worked for you? Curious.
not idolizing women, not taking women seriously, especially with when they're online talking that shit that they talk, the whole, we choose the bear. Shut up. You just want to say something to
And
just
that
say
worked for you?
something. It means nothing.
And that worked for you? Tell me how that worked for you. Tell me an
Yeah.
instance in life where that worked for you.
Because I don't take them seriously. You're just having a conversation.
So,
Women will say the
Again, tell me.
stupidest.
No, no,
Women
no,
will
no,
say
no,
the
no, no, no,
stupid.
no.
Listen to me,
No, tell
man.
me
You
a
gotta
story.
let me finish.
No, no.
You gotta let me finish. You gotta let me
I'm asking a
finish.
separate question.
You were
Though. Tell me
asking me
the
these
story where
questions.
that worked
Please
for
let
you.
me finish, brother.
All right,
Please let me finish.
go for it.
You do not take them seriously. I've watched the same women sit here online, say these same outlandish, ridiculous things. My personal favorite is how women will sit here and tell you, oh, I don't do one night stands, yet they've all done a fucking one night stand. They'll sit here and say, I have a low body count, but then in reality, you find out that, they've pretty much been fucking out of both pants legs. That's one of the reasons why you don't take them serious. This whole thing, when the brother said earlier, women in America don't like men. Bullshit. Women online say they don't like men.
Oh, so it's such grass.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so no, right quick, please, fellas. Right quick, fellas. You still didn't answer the question. Please tell me a
I know.
circumstance in your personal life
The circumstance of my personal life was I stopped taking women seriously. I stopped taking them seriously. I stopped focalizing.
Okay.
No, I will not tell you one particular story. I will not tell you all my personal business. I will not do that.
In life, ever.
It hasn't happened for you, maybe. I'm not up here to back and forth and argue like that and be disrespectful, man. I'm not here for that.
Nobody's being disrespectful.
No, you're coming close to it, because when the gentleman said that it's never happened in my life, sir, you don't know my life, brother. You didn't have to go there. So we're not gonna play like you're not.
Jesus. Okay, fair enough. I don't know your life.
Exactly.
I'm questioning why you wouldn't share an event where this life-changing advice helped you in that way. I tell you what I will do though. I'll show you an instance of Steve the Dean's teachings and how my teachings were superior. So I'll do that for you, okay? All right. So I'm gonna share the screen.
After that, can I
want you to tell me? Yeah. And then I'm gonna share this instance with you. All right.
And her over. So he'll probably.
What I want you to automatically assume when I say intimate, because let me allow.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the right.
Well, yeah, try with Kat, because it may a different approach may.
They're allowed to say no.
Oh wow! I think I remember this show.
Here's the thing. Take it out, Platinum. If he's your guy, what can I say about that? I can only respect what you say. I can't get mad at a woman for saying no. How is no? How is
one moment? Let me cue it up for you. So what we're about to see is Steve the Dean's game at work.
Steve, you're solid, you're confident, you accepted the L. Or no. And a lot of
Steve, I may be smashing no one, right? You are going to be smashing no one with that energy. So you have to come at it different. Steve,
I'm not doing it.
Do you know what? You killed it because you didn't even know you didn't.
And thinking that he wants to take her out for a meal. A woman will value that. A woman will go on a date with you. If you tell her, even if it's to, like, in the UK, Nando's or, I don't know, friggin' Pizza Hut, somewhere where you can go and have a conversation. It shows.
Ma'am.
Hang on one second.
All right. Hey, you be rude. Okay, well, and I was saying, you know what caught my eye before I asked the other lady?
Because I want to see if Steve is going to be the guy to do it.
Now, hold on, we finna find out. Now, Kat, me and you, Kat, we gonna back up. We gonna let Steve, because Steve is a professional. We have to bring in a professional for Jessica.
Oh, I wanted Kat here with me.
Oh, you want Kat to? But back up. Okay, all right. I'm gonna get up out. Let me get up out of here. Steve, go ahead.
Y'all both can be together, okay?
Okay, you hold up. Now, Steve, this might be too much.
Steve is apparently he's all man, so he can do both of us at the same time.
Okay, there you go.
That sounds wrong, but you get what I was saying.
I'm gonna get up out of here. Steve the Dean, I'm gonna leave the studio. I'm gonna leave you along with one English muffin and a hard-boiled egg. Let's find out what happened.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna walk you through it. And here's the thing, gentlemen. All I'm gonna do is just position myself. Either she's gonna like it or she's not. Okay, so here we go. Y'all ready, two ladies? Say you two ladies are sitting down or whatever you're doing. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over there and excuse myself. The reason why I'm gonna excuse myself is because I'm interrupting your day. I know you have things to do, and you're not. When someone comes in and says something to you, I'm not gonna say, "Hey, baby." I'm not gonna say, "Yo, mama." I'm not gonna say, "What's up, girl." The first thing I'm gonna say is, "Excuse me." Because that's being courteous. And then once I get your attention, I'm going to introduce myself to both of you ladies. I'm going to say, how you ladies doing? My name is Steve. The reason why I came over here, I don't want to take too much of your time, but the reason why I came over here is that I'm talking to Jessica, or either one of you ladies. I'll just say Jessica. Is Jessica. Well, I don't know your name yet, but I would say, you caught my attention. You know what I mean? And then, not that you know what I mean, excuse me. You caught my attention. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Steve. And then I would ask you, Jessica, first. Your name is, I would ask you, I don't know your name, but I would say, your name is?
My name is Jessica. So what about me caught your attention?
Your smile. Well, hold on, Jessica. I got to ask the other lady her name too. I'm being courteous. I got you, Jessica, but I like.
I'm being rude here. Okay.
No. Yeah. You can be rude. Okay. Well, and I was saying, you know what caught my eye before I asked the other lady her name? It was your.
Okay. I want to point out that these gods of confidence that you talk about is really doing a lot of stuttering and stammering. Just saying. Oh, and also he's not leading with I want to fuck you, as he tells his clients to do. He's leading with, excuse me, I'm sorry, please pardon the interruption type stuff. But let's continue.
Smile. It was either your smile or your look that caught my eye. I'm only going to talk shoulders up. I'm not going to talk about your body. I'm just talking about.
I'm not going to talk about your body. Now, keep in mind that, he tells people to be direct.
What caught my eye? The way you look caught my eye. And the reason why I came over here is because I like to take you out sometime to get to know you in a more intimate way.
Okay, but which one of us do you want?
Well, I'm talking to you, Jessica, because you're the one. Yeah, well, I'm talking to you, Jessica, because I was coming at you, Jessica, but I was trying to introduce myself to the both of you before I could talk to you. But you cut in because life happens. This is not scripted. You came in and asked what caught my eye, and I'll let you know what caught my eye. And then from that point,
so you like my smile?
Yeah, I like your smile, and you know what? I just want to get to know you a little bit better in a more intimate way. Maybe I can take you out sometime.
More intimate way.
Yes.
Okay, where are we going?
Well, let's say, you know what? We can go for a cup of tea. No coffee.
A cup of tea. I'm British. I sit down and drink tea all day. That's not special. I want to do something different.
Let's get some cocoa then. Let's get some cocoa. Cocoa, girl. Let's go get some cocoa. All right, forget about the tea. Let's get some cocoa. It's cold out there.
Okay. This is leading with your wallet. Just saying. He is spending money.
Let's get a nice cup of cocoa so we can sit down and talk. Why? And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why I want to sit down and talk to you is because you know what? Even though you're a very attractive woman, I want to know if your character matches your beauty. And that's why I want to take you out to see what you're
that's a form of putting her on a pedestal. Very attractive woman. Okay.
About. See what's behind that smile. And you're allowed to say yes or no. I'm just saying. I mean, you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to say you're not interested.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's working.
Yeah, and if it's not working,
no. Steve. 1, 2, 3. She won. You got her.
No, but no, I didn't get it. I'm just saying. This is what I'm saying. She's allowed to say no. You can't.
No, Steve. I'm the official. She's giggly.
I know she's giggly.
Now she's starting.
No, Platinum. I'm sorry, but a cup of cocoa does not sound appealing.
Right. You want to know why that's not appealing?
Okay. So basically, he tried and failed. Platinum tried to, write it off as a victory. It wasn't. It was a defeat. Let me show you what a victory looks like. Let me just go a little bit further. This is where I come on the scene.
We have a man who wants to charm the English muffin.
Go for
Cat, right? Now, hold up. We're all going to back up and give him room. We don't want to get in the way, Steve, because he's swinging them arms. You know,
swing that shit, man.
Okay, now he's just basically so confident. He said he can win her over. So he'll probably be taking her off to Never Ever Land after this conversation. So get your notepads out, get your pencils sharp.
Buying dinner. He's buying dinner.
Okay. Here he is. So hold up. Let me back us out. We're going to put him in. Okay, stay up. Stay up, Steve, and let me get out of this. And
who's this? Are you setting me up here? Who's this?
Oh, this is Game Changer.
Oh, Game Changer.
Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, the chess player. Okay.
Exactly, the chess winner.
Okay, let's see if you can win this game.
That's right? Okay. So, I see you sitting down here reading Cosmo, looking better than average. But I got to say, even though it's early in the year, you're the most attractive woman I've seen this year. Now, I just got here to your country and, I'm kind of new, no friends, no enemies, fortunately. But I want to get to know the world. I want to get to know your world and all the people in it, all the interesting people in it. It's just that people are so cold, they're so standoffish. Every time I try to meet somebody new here, they look at me like I'm just some type of dumb foreign American dude. I mean, yeah. Do you look at me like that, love?
Yeah.
I know. It's this reputation and stigma. How about you do this? How about you give me the opportunity to know about you and your country, and I'll teach you some things about me and mine. And you might find out that we don't fit this stereotype, and perhaps you don't either. Would you like to get together and do that?
Oh, we can do that, baby. Yes.
Okay.
Here's my number.
Okay, I greatly appreciate it. Now, the new venue is most convenient for you.
Do you know what, though? Game changer. That was amazing, what you just said.
Thank you.
That was great. And I think that is what Sean or Steve? Steve, right? Steve.
Okay.
All right. So, as you can see, there's nothing that these niggas could teach me. There's nothing that these niggas could teach anybody.
Okay, so the fact that she was feeling your vibe and not feeling Steve's.
Well, these are two completely different women, but it's not a matter of
you guys are two completely different guys too.
What he's saying is not helpful in actual practice.
But did you hear what he said when he said the part about she's allowed to say no or she's allowed to decline?
So let me get this straight.
Okay.
If Steve didn't tell you that women were allowed to say no, you wouldn't have known that?
No. No, that's not the point. That's not the point I'm making. But go ahead. No, go ahead. You got it.
So before Steve the Dean, if a woman told you no, would you have said bitch and then smack the shit out of her and say you're not allowed to say that? Like, what would have happened?
Hold on. I wouldn't have. No, you're right. I wouldn't have smacked the hell out of her. But that goes back to where I said not taking women so seriously, because so many guys will try to talk to a woman, try to, shoot their shot at her, get rejected, and they'll take it so serious and they'll think that it's something wrong with them when it's really nothing wrong with them. It's just, like you're just not her type, or she's in a bad mood, having a bad day, whatever the case. It's nothing to take so seriously. There are a lot of guys taking rejection too seriously, taking women too seriously. That's a part of the issue. That's a part of the problem. No shade on you, but this is performative.
I don't know this girl.
They know they're in front of an audience of people watching them.
I get it, but I don't know this girl. And secondly,
doesn't matter.
I think that this is more important. Well, they weren't willing to perform for him. But
that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Are you telling me that these guys teach you how to get rejected?
GC, can I please?
Wait, no. Hold on. He asked me a question. You said the guys teach us what now?
These guys teach you how to get rejected?
Yeah, they teach men how to deal with rejection. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Go for it, Azrael.
Yeah.
All right. So I have three things I want to say to this, right? And it really irritates me when I hear people say, "Oh, don't take women seriously." I get it. Women are emotional. But here's the hypocrisy of it, right? One, don't all the dating coaches said you need to vet a woman? They do say that, right?
Yeah.
So if a woman is conducting herself in a way by verbally saying certain things that are off-putting, or it's comes across as masculine, should I or should I not take that into consideration? Isn't that part of the vetting process?
If it's a woman that you're interacting with one-on-one, yes, definitely.
Yes. So why is it that at the same time they say you shouldn't take what a woman says seriously, but then when stuff happens, and how they do their panels, they'll do a panel and say, "Oh, this person didn't have any game. He should have saw the signs, but he was being game goofy." Part of those signs was the woman's behavior verbally. If she was talking crazy to him, or if you see her talking crazy to another dude, but she finds you attractive, you don't think that's a red flag, because regardless of if she finds you attractive or not, you see how she interacts with people that she's not attracted to. My mom, one of the greatest things my mom always said is you see how people feel about you by how they treat you when you can't do nothing for them, right? So my issue with that is this whole thing of that's why they try to make it seem as you're game goofy if you don't take what women are saying seriously in terms of online or on the internet. I've heard women say this in general. If you literally see the interviews, they go up to you. Remember that MTR video I told you about? He just went up to the girl and she started going off talking about how dudes ain't ish, who you don't need an N-word for nothing. But if she finds a dude that she find attractive, are you gonna be like, oh, she finds him attractive, so he shouldn't worry about what she said? No, that's stupid. You would still tell him, hey, bro, I get it, she's feeling you or not, but this is how she operates when she's normally herself, right? And another thing too, and it irritates me as Black people, we know this for sure. We don't say if you hear somebody saying something racist online, we don't say, oh, don't take Nick Fuentes seriously. Don't take what the racists online are saying seriously. No, because if I said that to other Black people and they be calling me all types of coon this, coon that. But whenever women say crazy stuff about men, stuff that's anti-man, very misandric, they say, oh, don't take women seriously. No. I disagree with that. I'm not saying every single thing you got to take women seriously, but in an environment where women are blatantly going out of their way saying that they hate men, if you substitute women how they treat men or what they say about men, and you substitute it with a white person and change the gender into race, we would all alarms would be going off. Black people would start movements out of nowhere, but just because it's women, particularly Black women, they say, oh, just don't pay attention to it. This is how we got to the point that we are now, because niggas didn't nip it in the bud. You understand?
You're taking apples and oranges and trying to turn it to apples and apples or oranges and oranges.
No, I'm not.
Trying to compare the racist ranting of a person, especially of a man, compared to the.
I didn't say men. I said race. I'm saying race.
You use Nick Fuentes as an example, so that's what I'm going with.
Granted, I'll give you that.
You're taking Nick Fuentes for his racist his racist exploits, what he says and whatnot, and then comparing it to women online with we choose the bear and you see why women choose the bear, and it's like, and it's not the same thing because it's so ridiculous.
It's not that, bro. It's not just that. Let's stop acting like it's just a bear thing.
Oh, no. It's not just a bear thing, but the fact that that's even something that they said, you should not take them seriously. The fact that they said that they tried to say it with a straight face.
You're trying to
that right there is enough to be like, do not take what these people are saying seriously.
Minimize it just to the bear thing. What about look how they crashed out when Trump got into office? And you have Black women saying before the election, "Oh, if you niggas don't vote for Trump, if you niggas don't vote for Kamala, I hope the police delete you."
Azrael, we want to stick to the topic of dating coaches.
I'm going on a tangent, but what I'm trying to point out is we are in a culture in America where women have a low level contempt for men, right?
Women.
So you can't. Women I hate dating coaches.
Women and men have always had a low level contempt for each other. I don't know why people pretend that's never existed.
Not like this, bro. Literally,
that's always existed.
I'm going to put an
that's
article.
Always existed.
I'm gonna put an article in the back chat, right? It's called. It's basically what's it say? This is from the UK, but it's also in America. Almost 2/3 of women under age 25 hold a negative view of men.
Okay, Azrael. I mean, once again, dating coaches.
Yes, that was my only. That's the thing. That's that trope that the dating coaches use to say you shouldn't worry about what women are saying, and guys that worry about what women say don't have game. No, because if you're in an environment where you're trying to talk to women, why do you think they're complaining that men are not approaching them? Because they're mean as AF, bro.
I'll summarize what you're saying. So he's saying, TD, he's saying that how could a game coach? Okay, I don't think that a game coach is effective if he's teaching people to not study and understand the nature of women in the environment that they're in.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's a statement that I can agree with.
Okay.
Once again, I don't think that these guys are effective.
Okay, that's cool. That's fine.
But Passport Creed, did you have something?
Yeah. Earlier, TD was saying that some of the positive traits he heard from game coaches was not taking women serious, focus on yourself. So
not pedestaling women, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much all those traits are pretty much what Passport Bros are already doing. Not putting women first, traveling, experiencing new experiences, and all that stuff like that. And guess what? They didn't have to learn. They didn't have to learn all this game that you keep preaching for the last hour and some change.
And I do have to point out that taking a class on how to massage a woman's feet, which is something that
what the hell?
He also teaches how to literally, and I'm not making that up. He has foot massage classes. He has a course called.
That's not something I even co-sign. I mean, if Steve's got guys buying that and they're going for it, I mean, I guess they want to learn how to massage their feet. Kind of weird to me, but okay, run with it.
He also has a course teaching guys.
Well, right quick. He also has a ass eating course where.
Yeah, see, let me tell you something. I heard about that. And I was like, I know that the internet is not a real place now.
Well, he's a real person, and he's really.
He might be a real person, but the internet is not a real place. Not after that.
Well, yeah. So what I'm saying is the following.
Okay.
What I'm saying is the following. What they tell people and what they actually practice is two different things. She literally is on a pedestal, and that's so your face can get to her ass better. So yeah, he's actually telling you not to put women on a pedestal while putting them on a pedestal.
Lord have mercy. This cannot be real life.
Well, it's not my life. I don't eat ass, but you know.
Oh God.
Can I ask you a question, TD? Do you think?
Go ahead.
Do you think dating in America is going to get better in the next 10 years?
I don't see it as being worse. It's just reacting to its environment. What I'm seeing is a bunch of people, men and women, yes, even the women, trying to force relationships with people who really don't like them. And then they can actually tell that these people don't like them, but they're trying to make them like them and trying to force something. I see women try to be with men who clearly don't value them as much as they say they want to be valued, but they're just happy to have that attention of, whatever that man is because, they got a thing for that guy. And then to want to cry and complain about how he did me and he took advantage. No, he didn't take advantage. You knew he didn't like you like that. You could feel it. You know the difference between when someone actually rocks with you and someone doesn't. Same thing with the guys. I see too many guys who sit there with a woman and they know this woman is not feeling them because she's not willing to do half of anything with them that they would like for her to do. But they'll sit there and they'll spend all their money, and they'll waste all this time trying to get this woman to, I guess, follow their lead, act right with them.
Well, let me ask this. Do passport bros do that?
I don't know what passport bros do other than go overseas.
Okay, fair enough. Because Jap was talking about them. So what you see on your screen is an example of what they actually do. And it doesn't seem as if he's trying to convince women who don't like him to like him or complaining that they don't. It seems like he is waiting while they cook him dinner and wash the dishes.
So he's dealing with women that like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And so when you say that these guys are complaining, that doesn't seem to be the case with passport bros. It doesn't. There's nothing to complain about. Right quick, let him respond.
Right.
So where's this straw man of guys complaining about the women that don't like them? It seems like he just found the one that do, or the two that do, and those
Two
two
of them
just so
that
happen to
do.
be, yeah, and those two just so happen to be in a different country.
Yeah. He
So
could have found two. He could have found two in this country that liked him. He could have found 10 in this country that liked him. He could
I
have
think
found
he would have
100
found.
in this
He would
country.
have. He couldn't
have you
find
found 10?
5 in America.
I bet he could have found 50.
I doubt it. They'd probably be big as a house. They would not look like that.
Man, y'all keep thinking that women are so fucking different. These bitches are the
let me ask
same
you-
all over the world.
Let me ask you a question, TD. If they were the same, how come they have such high obesity rates over here and they don't over in other countries?
Because we have a country with a high obesity rate. You go overseas,
but
guess
you said they're all the same though.
Oh,
so if women
you're gonna let me finish. You're gonna let me answer the goddamn question, Jesus fucking Christ. You're gonna have more obese women in a country like America because America has more food resources and more money. You're going overseas where the GDP is not as high. They don't have as much food available to them. So of course they're not going to be as obese. It's a different food culture.
Fair enough. Well, right quick, Ezra. Let me respond. Okay, so they're not as obese. If you're interested in finding a woman who's not obese, wouldn't it be in your best interest to go to a place where the women are less obese?
You could find women in America that are less obese.
Yes,
find
yes,
women who hold on. Find women in America who their fitness is important to them. Start there.
I understand. I understand that. However, wouldn't it be in your best interest? Okay, so for example, you can find a strawberry growing wild in the inner city. However, wouldn't it be better to go to a strawberry patch, a grocery store, or a place where strawberries grow in abundance?
Right.
You can't find a strawberry in a grocery store in the inner
smart
city?
thing to do.
Not the question.
As opposed to looking in a concrete jungle. No, I say growing wild.
Growing wild. Oh, okay.
Can I ask you a question?
We're taking apples to oranges, oranges to apples. Go for it.
I've run down a
Yes.
diagnosis.
Okay. So no. Let me finish. Ezra, right quick. Let me finish. So you may not know this, but strawberries grow wild anywhere. Sometimes even through the cracks of the sidewalk, a strawberry can grow. Now, you can actually look for these crack-grown strawberries in the middle of a major city, or you can go to a strawberry patch or a grocery store, places that has them in abundance. I recommend that people go to places that have such things in abundance. And that's what the Passport Bros are doing. Now, it is great to find somebody that teaches you how to farm strawberries in a place other than a strawberry farm. That's great. It's probably not the best idea, but it's great that there exist guys like that, I guess. You got it.
I can't believe you're comparing finding strawberries to finding women, but keep going.
What other comparison
we compare women to cars, so I get it. Apples to oranges. Let's just stick with it. Keep going.
Well, any comparison can be made to apples to oranges, but however, if you want to determine which one is sweeter, apple juice or orange juice, that's how you make that comparison. Nevertheless,
yeah, depends. But if you prefer apple juice,
what you're doing is you're attacking the concept of making analogies. Any analogy, you're going to say apples and oranges because you want to disqualify analogies. The point is
because you're using your analogies to disqualify what I'm saying. Okay, we're on the same platform with that.
Exactly.
Okay, so kind of call me out on doing what you're doing.
Okay, put it like this. No analogies aside. A smart person will look for something that has something in a higher concentration than other places. That's just what smart people do. And there isn't an analogy for that. You don't go to a population where 16% of somebody is qualified. You go to a population where 80% are qualified. if you have the option to do that.
Can
There you go.
I
No analogies, just
have
math that makes sense. You got it, Azrael.
I have a few questions for him because my thing is this: when people say you can get it here, right? What percentage of women would you say in America are like wife material? What's the percentage? Would you say?
What do you want for a wife?
No.
What I would no. We're not going to do that.
You moving the
goalpost. You're moving the fucking goalpost,
no,
man.
I'm talking about a wife, threshold wife, like standardized, standard model.
The percentage, and you want me to say percentage of like all women, not black, white, whatever, not a particular, just all women in general.
That you would consider wife material. What percentage of women in America? What's the percentage?
I would say in America, 75%
of women in America are marriage material.
Yep, 75%. I'll say that. I'll stand on that one.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Let me interject right quick, Azrael. Do you think a fat woman is marriage material?
Yes. If a man is attracted to a fat woman, then a fat woman is marriage material. Yes, exactly.
Okay. If a man is
attracted to a fat woman,
okay,
yes, she's marriage material.
Are you attracted to fat women?
I've been attracted to a couple of fat women. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't.
Okay. So if the country amongst females has an obesity rate of about 60 to 70%. Okay. And 75% of the women are eligible to marry, then that means that you're very likely to marry a fat woman.
Okay.
Are you willing to marry a fat woman that you're not attracted to?
No, but I am willing to marry a fat woman that I am attracted to.
Yeah, but you're not attracted to the majority of fat women, right?
I'm not attracted to the majority of women either. It's not the point.
Okay, right quick. What percentage of women are you attracted to?
I'm attracted to the women that I am attracted to, and I know that the women that I am attracted. You can't quantify that. You got to show me every woman in America, and then I can just start pointing out her, and her, and her, and her, and her, and her, and her, not her, not her, not her, and not her, but her and her. Do you see how ridiculous this gets?
For every 10 women.
No, Azrael, I understand. Brother, thank you for coming up.
Thank you for having me, man. Y'all have a good night.
I had more questions to ask him. Damn.
All right, so no, we have to end that conversation because it's not going anywhere. I mean, whenever you have a disingenuous conversation, it's better to end. The fact that he can quantify the number of women that are marriageable, but he can't quantify the number of women that are attractive to him, even though attractive is a qualification for marriage, you're dealing with someone who is being extraordinarily disingenuous and just flat out lying. So we're going to move on. I mean, apparently, and this goes into what I was saying, for a long time about game dudes. It's really about competition with other men and the need to feel better than other men. And that is what these guys are offering other guys. They're not teaching anything, that's applicable in life in any way, or even in attracting women or anything like that. They're not. They're just giving people a feeling that they know something that others don't know and that they're better than others for whatever reason. Someone like that, you're really not going to get anywhere in a conversation. And I'm sad that I've wasted that much time to, attempt to do so.
But
no, I don't want to say he did not rage quit. I politely asked him, thank the first time, and and that was that. But no, he didn't rage quit. And no, I didn't boot him. I thanked him for his time, and that was the end of that. I mean, you have to understand when a conversation is going nowhere.
He couldn't concede any points. It's like, damn. Like, we can admit, okay, yeah, there are quality women here, but my rationale is, would you tell somebody to go, it's like if you tell somebody, hey, I know where you can find $20, and you'd be like, where? Oh, at a garbage in a landfill. Would you tell them, oh, go to a landfill to find that $20 instead of, okay, you can go somewhere else and get the $20? You know what I mean? Like, or
no, I understand what you're saying, and what he's saying is What his response to that would be apples and oranges, as something that he says to any analogy, which is meant to simplify something that's more complicated.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm not going to entertain such notions.
Yeah, I just, and my thing is, and I apologize for going on a tangent about other stuff, but it's like we can't be delusional and naive to believe that women in the last 10 or 15 years have a different kind of contempt for men. And he said, oh, women always had contempt for men. No, not like this. Your grandmother didn't. I mean, maybe your grandmother, maybe probably the way a lot of people were raised, but like back in the day, it wasn't no outright talking crazy about men like people do on the internet and in life in general. Like, I don't know if you saw that recent MTR video where he was going over that interview with the guy. If you ever get a chance, you gotta watch. That shit was crazy, man. The girl was just going off, saying, "I don't need a man. I have my rose toy that I can use to get my nut off." Like, those are her words. I kid you not.
Mm-hmm. I want to address, furthermore, the cult-like thinking behind the gentleman that we just talked to. He made the assertion about why these guys don't have receipts. And for whatever reason, we should just take them for face value, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then when I displayed to him that receipts exist, he questioned the validity of the receipts and then backed people with no receipts. That's a cult-like mentality.
Yeah,
basically, someone shows you something that actually works. Go for it.
Yeah, it was like the reason why people regard like
password creed.
Yeah, I think you got a delay.
Yeah,
but
you got a delay.
The reason why people regard like Tom Brady as the GOAT is because he showed 20 plus years of
excellence
playing in the clutch. Same thing with Jordan. He displayed close to 20 years of being clutch to be considered as GOAT with his track record and everything he displayed for that time frame. So that's why I don't understand, like, why would he take advice for somebody that's just kind of like a rapper? How he would talk about how he did all this drug dealing and deleting people and slapping up females and et cetera, but he has no proof, no track record of anything. He's just portraying it, because obviously if you had that type of background, you would be in prison. So yeah, that was like very disingenuous of what the guy was doing. The chess move I was trying to put him in when I was telling them that I was in South Florida was, from where I'm at, Jacksonville is a farther distance driving compared to me flying to like, I guess, the Dominican Republic. It's like 2 hours. It's like 2 hours to fly to Dominican Republic, and it's like a 5-6 hour drive from where I'm at to get to Jacksonville, because I think he was talking about going to Jacksonville. So that's what I was trying to put him in. But I mean, he probably would just try to spun out of it with some BS anyway.
See, I'm a little bit more ruthless. I'm of the mindset, and that's why some people can't have me on panels. What if my rationale is, what if I'm just not compatible, or if I'm not attracted to American women? I'm not even talking about on a like physical level. What if I am just not compatible with dating an American woman?
But that's what most of these game guys, or you should be able to do it in America. That's what they never are able to kind of stand on, because it's like, well, if all these single guys can get all of these women in America and you have less competition, I mean, isn't that better for the guys that want to compete for the women in America?
But like GC said, it's a Highlander syndrome. They wanna compete and be like, oh, I've been victorious over all you other niggas.
So you're trying to tell me, if you're at American Idol and all the rest of the contestants, they just bow out, and you're the only contestant.
If the so-called competition leaves, then who can you gloat over?
But I thought the whole point was winning.
It wasn't winning.
So it's just being able to dish.
It's funny because, because at least with this guy, these game dudes seem to be winning, even though they didn't sing. They didn't display any talent whatsoever. in fact, when put one-on-one against someone, they lost.
Right.
And somehow he still found a way to champion them. This is the most biased thing ever.
Yeah, someone Platt did that. He's like, oh, he won. He's
Yeah,
like, oh,
exactly.
Yeah, that was low key a moment of throwing the towel. But another thing, so I wanted to ask him, what do you think about when Lucario Miles went to Miami? That's what I really wanted to get into because I wanted to see how his viewpoint. I know
he'll just say some real results don't matter. It probably was a bad night and blah blah blah. I mean, I don't know because it seems like you can't.
He'll say the same thing he said with Steve the Dean, and that is, now you know that they can say no. We already knew that women could say
him saying that the game coaches teach you how to deal with rejection. Do you need a coach for that?
Yeah.
Right. But unfortunately,
no. I mean, kind of like a boxing coach teaches you how to get beat.
What?
Like those boxing coaches that teach you how to get punched in the face?
Right.
Nah, what the hell? Hell no.
Well, no, they do.
The boxing coaches that teach you how to stay down for 10 seconds?
No. No, what the hell?
Oh, you're a normal person. Never mind.
I guess you're not that talented enough, Passport Salvation. You haven't reached that level yet.
Hey man, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I could have sworn they're supposed to teach you how to avoid those haymaker punches and to at least how to at least get up within the 10 seconds. That's crazy.
Teaching a person how to lose is esoteric knowledge. Okay, you're not ready for that level of game.
Well, I guess I won't be able to achieve that level. I guess not, bro.
Yeah, once you learn to eat ass, then you'll learn how to get rejected. Like it's level, kind of like second grade, third grade. Oh, never mind, apples and oranges. So, right. But yeah, you have to take baby steps. You have to, But yeah, apparently, these guys are very effective at teaching guys how to not get bitches. And these guys soak it up as wisdom. It's very weird. One of the things that these guys are effective at doing is they're really gaming the men.
Yeah.
And what we've seen was a result of this because his mentality. Well, I'll give you an example. Met this chick, and I was really into her friend years ago. And in fact, she's one of the two women who said something like this. So maybe it was the same dude that they were seeing. She was telling me about some hood dude that she was seeing, and this wasn't in Oakland that I worked with her, and she wasn't from there. In fact, I don't think she's ever been there. But she said that he's a hood dude. I was like, oh really? Where are you from? She said he's from South Oakland. He a Crip. I was like, okay. You should know that Oakland doesn't have any Crips or Bloods. We also don't have a place called South Oakland. So really, this guy just made that up. And yeah, I wasn't saying that to salt her. I'm just letting her know that that's some weird shit. If I ever heard of it.
Right. That's the unique thing about on the Bay Area. They don't have Bloods or Crips.
Yeah.
Or at least not in Oakland. Maybe in like San Jose over there with the Mexicans. They got Mexican Crips over there. But yeah, she was getting finessed.
I don't know if there's such thing as Mexican Crips, but they have Serenos and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I just know that there's no such place as South Oakland. There's no such thing.
Right. It's just East and West Oakland, right?
And North, yeah. So but the point is that even when faced with like proof, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have any skin in the game. I'm just saying what I knew. Even when faced with that, she still thought that he was a thug, that he was the thing that he portrayed. Like there was no convincing her, and I didn't really want to convince her. I was just saying something that kind of came to my head the moment she said it.
Or maybe GC, she knew it, but she just wanted to believe the lie, maybe.
Exactly. And I think that dude was on that stage, is what I'm saying. It's the same mentality. Like they know they just want to believe that lie, and the lie is that these guys get a bunch of pitches.
Yeah, it's kind of like the moment when I realized all the years of me watching the WWF and WCW, and then when I finally seen that it's orchestrated and it's not really real. After my friends were telling me for years, I'm like, no, bro, wrestling is fake. Wrestling is fake. I'm like, nah, man, it's real. What you mean, man? I seen the Rock. I seen the Rock put somebody through the table, man. You lying? And then when I kind of seen it, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that we're kind of like a lot of people who have some kind of cult leader. I think they more are on the basis of they just want that person they want the person who they chose to be that leader with proof or not. Because the era I grew up in, they at least have that. You have to at least have some kind of proof of who you say you are before you would kind of get a followership. But these days, I guess you just got to fit the mold with no proof. And some people, like I said, with the internet, you can gain your own following with no proof. And that, to me, that's kind of crazy. Like if I'm listening to a rapper, I would at least want a King Von before I get some other created rapper that's just gonna tell me everything I want to hear with no proof.
Right, like a Drake.
Like, hold on, don't hit chill on the 6 guy. The 6 guy ain't ever say he took nobody out.
No, he's talking about I got shooters and what mob ties and stuff like that. It's like,
I mean, he got money, he can make some stuff happen. That's not fun.
You grew up as a half black, half Jewish dude from a suburbia.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. He's a Degrassi kid to this big mob boss. Yeah, it's kind of
talking about mob ties. But not to go on a tangent, but my thing is with this too. You know how somebody's in a cult, right? It's if you ask them what about them that you don't agree with, what are some things you don't agree with, right? And that's how you know you realize if they're in a cult or not. Because to go against whatever belief or group, that you believe in, to go up against anything is kind of like sacrilegious. That's why he kept deflecting so much when I asked him about the vetting thing. Because I remember I was talking to somebody else about the dating coaches would be like, they'll get on people, like they like to do like celebrity live streams about celebrities, and they'd be like, oh, the reason why his wife divorced him is because he didn't have no game and he didn't see the signs, and you need to like who likes you. And I'm like, dog, this dude has been married for 20 years. You talking about Tom Brady and his wife divorced him, and you're like, oh, it's because Tom Brady didn't have any game. And you need to go like, and then you had niggas in the chat saying like, yeah, you need to like who likes you. Like, you don't think Gisele Bündchen didn't like Tom Brady when they first met? Isn't it feasible that some people just break up? Like the person that likes you at year 1 is not going to be the same person at year 20. You can't after a 20-year marriage say, oh, that person doesn't have any game.
But that's common sense though. That's the thing. I'm like,
no,
like who like you. I mean, no, I'm saying is that the like who like you, that's like common sense. Like you needed a game coach to kind of tell you, look both ways before you cross the street.
My thing is, exactly. But
and once again, like these tidbits make them feel superior to somebody. And in this case, Tom Brady. Like having these tidbits give them a sense of superiority, even though it's extremely common knowledge. A bitch has a right to say no. It's like everybody knows that. But you saying that makes you feel better than the people who don't know that.
Right. But I was seething. I guess you could say I was seething. I remember, do you guys remember that time? GC might not remember this, but Chris Brown was accused of assaulting a woman sexually, right? And what happened is they literally caught her voicemails. They brought her voicemails to court. And I remember watching the video. It was him, Chris Brown was in a kitchen and he was playing the recording, and one of his lawyers and one of his like agents were listening to the recording. And it's basically this woman, because he didn't want to. He kind of smashed and dashed her, so he slept with her like maybe a couple times and then ghosted her. And they were showing all the voicemails talking about, oh, I can't wait to get your D again, whoop de whoop, this, that, and the third. But he just kept ignoring her, right? And she came out and was trying to say, oh, he assaulted me and whatnot. But then that's when he had proof of the voicemail. Do you know Lucario was like, yeah, what Chris Brown went through, if he had game, he'd be able to maneuver with that situation differently. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. I was you know, like, you know, it's kind of like when
I'm
people.
glad that dude came up. Dude, if you're listening. Well, dude, if you're listening, I'm glad that you came up because I did wonder who was these guys' audience. And I'm not even trying to be funny about that. I was wondering, like, who are the guys that watch these guys and take them seriously? I mean, you haven't given them any money, I don't think. But now I know the mentality behind it, and I'm edified as a result of it. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the brother coming up.
I'm not saying that he's this way, but if you ever listen to when they have their panels, I'm no offense to people that are artistic, but a lot of the guys that call in, they sound like they're on a spectrum. Like they sound like off. They don't sound like that. I mean, everybody got their little quirks about them, me included, but they come across as people that might be on the spectrum or have Asperger's. So they'd be like, "Oh, did you you got the woman's you got the woman's number? Did you call her back?" They're like, "Yes, no," and it's like the people that call into their show just sounds off. Like there's something's off about them.
So you mean to tell me in 2026?
Yeah, I don't want to give that type of diagnosis to someone that I listen to over the thing. I will say this. They do fit a unique mold, and well, for what? Let's start here. There exists a group of people, and these were the people who are part of that 4% who didn't get it in the 90s. So who have social anxiety and things like that. To those people, what happened in Miami would have been extremely impressive. If you have social anxiety, the ability to talk to a woman is impressive. So I do feel that there's a high concentration of people like that in their audience, in their fan base. Which is, it works for them. I wouldn't even take that from them. But then there's a separate aspect, and that separate aspect is, and this is something that I hear, and I don't hear their calls often, but this is something that I hear on the calls, is that this desire to one up the man next to them. That is what the gang dudes is doing. That's why they always lead with insults to other men, individual men or groups of men. That's why it's always Chris Brown don't have it. That's why Minister Jap was going on like Passport Bros don't have it. That's why it's a thing that a person can tell themselves that they have with no proof or anything that the next person don't. This typically comes from people who don't have much, in the sense that they don't, or they don't have much in one way, and they like to feel like they have it in another. Let's take Chris Brown. Chris Brown is better looking than these guys. Chris Brown has a lot more money than these guys. Chris Brown is a lot more talented, and I'm including me in this and everything that I just said. Chris Brown can best a lot of men in a lot of different areas, including myself. Now, what I won't do in order to feel better about that is to say, well, I can best him in this one area, and that area is game. That's what these guys tell themselves, and that's what these guys tell them audience to tell themselves. So you have a bunch of people walking around thinking that they're better than Chris Brown because Lucario said so. It's the saddest thing ever.
My thing with them is I want to know if everybody doesn't have game, who has game, excluding the guys on the panels. Like who has game? Because whenever they do something that's, oh, this person doesn't have game, that's why the situation ended up like it is. It's like, well, maybe the woman wanted different things. Maybe she wanted to just break up with her husband, or what if she just doesn't care about having a family anymore? It's not always about the, oh, you don't have game, like, or I've heard Lucari say this to kind of piss me off. He says he doesn't believe in blaming he said if a relationship fails, it's always the man's fault. And I'm like, hold up. Now, would I say, even if you would have said 75%, I'm like, kind of off. But to say it's never a woman, is like he said, he trained his mind to believe that it's always the man's fault so that he could be more accountable. I'm like, no, that's stupid, because there are women that are insecure and will ruin a relationship just off of her insecurity, right?
I want to respond to this. He says, the people who buy their courses have game, according to them. No, they don't. The people that buy courses has to buy more courses to get the game. And it's really a never-ending cycle. It's kind of like those people that are constantly in school, that are on their 30th year of college.
Right.
It's kind of like that. You never actually graduate.
Yeah, like therapy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, or if you don't believe me, you could ask them. You could ask them to tell you about the men that graduate their course that they could say this guy has game.
Yeah, I find it funny that in 2026 that all of those game guys, like, why are they still taking phone calls like it's 2002 or something like that? Like, they don't have StreamYard to where they can, have guys come so you can get a visual, so or whatever, because I'm like, who's still even using a phone line or call-in shows like I said, like it was like, I mean, like it's the chat line days.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once again, this is 90s game. So
yeah, you said that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, and keep in mind that these guys are, many of these guys are married and have been married since the 90s, like Steve. 90s game is really all he knows. And it's amazing that he's selling it to people, and it's not that the guy who was talking just now was actually buying the courses or anything like that. It's more to the point that he was selling it to others.
But isn't that like worse that they actually still have people that believe into what they're selling with no proof in 2026?
Say that again.
Don't you find it weird that they still have some sort of a following that still believe in what they say with no proof in 2026?
Oh, I find that very disturbing. I really do. I find that very disturbing. It really shows that, people just want to feel like they're better than someone else.
Because, they've been around for a long time. They've been them is what at least Lucario. That's like who the first person I was aware of. They've been around for a long time. And when, like I said, the passport era came, I'm like, there's no way these guys are going to see the light and then they're going to be able to come back. They're going to go back to these guys of selling them hope. Because that's all they're really doing is selling them hope. And, like I said, it's a never-ending cycle over. You need to learn this. You need to learn this. Buy this course. Well, after you buy this course, you're going to buy these other 2 courses, and they just keep going and going and going and going and going. Like you said, and there's no graduation. And there's no disciple that, hey, this guy took all of my courses, and now he is the aficionado, and now he's leading the pack.
Right. It's kind of like being in class for 40 years and still not having a black belt in karate or something like that. You just your sensei hasn't even demonstrated that he can fight.
Yes, that's the goal.
Yeah, so they keep doing it. Once again, it gives them the feeling that they are outdoing somebody, that somebody is worse in the knowledge than they are. But yeah, the 75% eligibility was wild. And the fact that he came with that number, but when I say what percentage is attractive, he was like, well, I got to meet every woman in America to know that. Well, you didn't have to meet every woman in America to determine the 75%. So at that point, I realized that the conversation wasn't going to go anywhere.
See, and that's what a lot of anti-passport bros guy, like, that's their solution. You need to talk to every woman in America before you decide to go and get your passport and go overseas, because their number one rebuttal is all these women in America and you can't find one. You can't find one in what they'll say, well, Mississippi or all of Utah, Idaho. Like they want you to go into those deep country slums. They want you to go into like Amish land to find a woman before you would go overseas.
Well, I wouldn't go to Mississippi under any circumstances. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knockout. What's on your mind?
Yeah. The thing about Jap, he's stuck in the 90s and the 2000s. That's his problem.
That's all of their problems. I agree. Yeah.
Like they think men are not even approaching women. What makes you think they're shooting their shot talking about game? Like, when is the last time you heard a woman talk about men need game? When was the last time you heard about that?
Well, women want the approach to continue. So they actually support the notions. Women get off on rejecting people like this. So it's no wonder that they will encourage you to approach. That doesn't mean that it's to your benefit that you do. Do I cold approach? And the short answer to that is yes. Have I drastically limited the amount of cold approaching that I do? The answer to that is also yes. And that's because I understand that by approaching them, I'm giving them something. And that's an ego boost, which is something that's extraordinarily valuable to a woman. Even though the value given from me is nothing, the value received by them is exceptional. Therefore, I only do so when I feel that they're worthy. In situations where she is significantly prettier than I am handsome, for example.
Right, because cold approaching nowadays is like being a car salesman with commission. That's what your odds are like trying to sell a car, trying to approach women. That's how bad it is. So that's the thing. Like a lot of women, they pick men off sexual attraction, based off their emotions and money. So there's so much game can do with that because a lot of women pick up men off those three things.
Well, okay, and I understand what you're saying. I'm not against cold approaching. Let me just be clear about that point. I'm not against cold approaching at all. What these game dudes are doing is they're not even talking about cold approaching. What they're doing is that they're just saying that they have something or they know something that others don't, and that they're better than others because they know this thing that others don't. Anybody can cold approach. That doesn't mean anything. It's not this spectacular thing that you got to sell a course on how to do, which is why I gave that demonstration to Dude, and he still found some type of way to discredit it. Nevertheless, it's not this spectacular thing that only a select few people have. It's something that most men have within them, like the ability to catch or throw a punch. So what they're selling, it's not that spectacular. If they were to sell how to make it more effective, then that would be something. But they're not even selling that concept, which is very bizarre.
It's
everybody knows
grifting.
how to cold approach. They can't even tell you how to be successful at it. They're just telling you how to get rejected doing it. That's weird.
Yeah, it's grifting. Like they think they're Will Smith of a hitch. Like that era day is gone.
Something you bring up a good example because they do have that, Will Smith from Hitch type, I should say. The funny thing about that is that Will Smith on Hitch was actually with the person. It wouldn't have worked if he tried to do it online. All of Will Smith's clients, they were actually there and with him. And he was there with them step by the steps, even like in teaching them dance moves and stuff like that. And, something like that may be effective, but these guys aren't doing that.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, he was with them in person. But yeah. Minister Jap's not out here with people in person showing you how to spit game. He's just saying all you need is game. And then calling people perverts for being tricks or paying for it. That's all he's doing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Azrael, Creed, y'all have anything on that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Jap is pretty much just just doing well, most of these game guys, they're just doing whatever it's going to take to keep their customer base still questioning their decisions to maybe give them another try instead of, like I said, one thing I've never seen was a passport bro ask any of these game guys for advice or their opinion on should I stay in America or should I go abroad. No, it's always these game guys going at passport bros for them leaving and getting their or finding the result or positive result for the most part that they're desiring, and they don't have to sit here and keep figuring out of what do I got to do now? What do I got to do now? What do I got to do now to keep this woman's attention from going to somebody else? And mind you, most of the women that I would say majority of guys are going to compete for is not high quality women. You're going to compete for women mostly with kids, mostly that are kind of active out here. You're not competing for no virgin. You're not competing for no wholesome woman. You're not competing for no bookworm. You're not competing for no highly sought after woman that you would feel like she is like the top of the top number one overall draft pick type of woman. You're not even competing for that. But at the same time, the way I look at it is like, what are you really getting overall from doing all of this game gymnastics just to say that you got a woman in America compared to when you can get a higher quality woman overseas? But that's just my take.
Well, it's when you hear stuff like the women that like you, standards is not a part of that equation. Liking someone that likes you is basically like, if she finds you appealing, then you must like her. So if Gabrielle Sidibe wants you, then you have to like her because she likes you.
No, that's and that's what I don't like, where they would kind of be saying that, oh, well, yeah, just like we like you. So all of the highly unattractive women or women with multiple children that kind of maybe want to find a stable guy now, she might like you too. So it's like, okay, I will always take it back to like when we were in high school and how, a lot of the jocks, the drug dealers, and all of the guys with more edgy guys on the football team, they would get all the women. Well, guess what? The guys that were getting all the women and the guys that weren't getting all the women, we're around the same age. So we still remember when you were choosing the guys who you felt had a better deal and the guys who you were not choosing. So when you fast forward 10 or 15 years and kind of life happens and, let's just say she's available now, you're never going to forget that. And obviously she didn't put herself in a vacuum seal and then, fast forward those 10, 15 years and now she's available and she only and she's wasn't that active outside. Like, no, you're accepting her as a more used item and you're supposed to just look past that, which I don't agree with. So, but yeah, I mean, pretty much. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. Azra, you have anything? You were going to go on Jap's show. What did you have to say then? Azra, are you there? Okay, he's gone. But yeah, it's I seen something. I had to say something. I'm about to head out, but it's these guys are definitely feeling that their pockets are getting light, and it's because of the Passport Bro movement.
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
What I was gonna say too is I think the men that pay spend money on women get better women than the guys that have game. Because think about it, Jack probably deals with hood rats. That's why he probably doesn't talk. That's why he's talking about all you need is game, because he's dealing with hood rats. He probably got spent $120, Hennessy, some wings, and going to the bar. Jack's probably not dealing with above quality women. What I mean by that is not dealing with strags. He probably just, even though he probably uses them recreational use only, he probably dealing with hood rats, strags. So that's why he's probably so when he sees men talking about tricking and spending money, he's thinking like, why would I spend money on these type of women when I can get the hood rats?
I mean, you're working under the assumption that he's getting hood rats. But I will agree with you that quality is never part of the conversation. These conversations, you know, they always just say like the one that likes you. They never mention, you know, how to find quality women. And what's going on is that guys are adjusting their goals. You know, like like a person might look for a dating coach to, you know, improve their quality and quantity, and or quantity. However, they're not offering that. And what they are offering, which was a very bizarre thing that he said, was to select the women that want you.
The car, you mean?
No, the guy who was on just now, the TV guy.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it, the
Like,
dating coaches of the Caro, they never talk about what they never talk about is compatibility with personalities. They don't even talk about that. Like, find someone that's compatible with your personality, or who are you attracted with this personality? Is it kind of conflicting both personalities? Is it compatible? They never talk about that.
No, it's true. All right, so closing thoughts, fellas. What are your closing thoughts?
At the end of the day, you gotta do what's in your best interest. Ignore the haters, like Jap, because in the end of the day, Jap is stuck in the past. He's always referencing 90 movies, how to be a player. Like, I think he misses the old days and he reminisces, which is understandable. But he's not up to date what's going on. I don't think he cares. He thinks they're gonna bring that pit mentality out here to women, or renegades and prostitutes mentality. It's not gonna work.
Agreed.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to give you some very valuable advice. Get out your pencil and papers. No. I'm gonna give you a game adjacent. Okay. Women are not free. Period. If you think that you're gonna come in 2026 and be able to verbally manipulate a woman, that's going to, even if you are able to even get into the end zone, do you think you're going to stay in the end zone without coughing up a couple of dollars out of your pocket? Everything is always going to circle to money. Game Changer said this earlier. Women have something that you want. And guess what? You have what women want. Money. Now, depending how you distribute it, that's what is the main purpose of, you know, either A, you're just trying to, you know, get it in and get it out, or B, you're trying to get a relationship. And if it's none of those, you shouldn't waste your time at all. So I would say, as a 40-year-old man, is to stop spinning plates, stop trying to learn this complex game that a lot of men like to preach for 20 plus years like it was in the 90s. Because, yeah, I'm 40 years old. Was I able to game my way into getting some women back in the days? Hell yeah. And then, like any person, you see that a lot of the games or the plays you used to try to work, it didn't work as much as it used to throughout the years, to where women were just wanting the money straight up front. So it was like, well, how am I going to find my way out of this situation where I don't have to pay for it? So that's what it comes up to. You're just going to have is always going to circle back to the money if you want the girl. And if it's short term or long term, is always going to circle back to the money. So I would say $135 to get your passport and to experience different areas of the world and cultures is a whole lot cheaper than you paying whatever membership from one of these game guys for like $1,000 for him to show you how to eat gluteus maximuses. So make the right decision, fellas. And remember, women are not free.
Okay, okay, I understand that. I definitely agree that they're not free. I think that the currency is varies from woman to woman, whether it's time, looks, money, or status or anything like that. But nevertheless, no matter what currency you use, it is not free. I definitely agree with that. Um, and knockout, go, you got it. Knockout, you there? All right, Azrael, you there? Okay, well, with that, I want to thank everybody that participated. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. This is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.